Chapter 180. There's no hurry, White Fox Hero. If there's nothing else, please come in and have a seat. I can also express my gratitude to you. Xia Huang said quickly. It's getting late. I need to go back and rest. Let's call it a day. It was not that Xiao Chen did not want to interact with the Xia family, but his current identity was not good enough. If it was exposed, it would be troublesome. It was hard to say whether the Xia family would keep the secret for him or not. Even if Xiao Chen managed to find their child, it was built on the basis of a deal. The Warrior Guild had already paid him a reward of 3,000 points and 2 million in cash. This was already a lot. Xia Huang did not expect Xiao Chen to insist on leaving. Little friend White Fox, can you give this old man some face and come and have a seat? At this moment, an old but vigorous voice rang out. Xiao Chen was slightly surprised. He looked up and saw a kind-looking old man standing at the door of the villa. He had an indescribable majesty. Although Xiao Chen did not know who this person was, he was afraid that the person who could speak like this must be someone important in the Xia family. It was very likely that he was Xia Huang's father, the current head of the Xia family. All right, then I shall accept your invitation. Xiao Chen had no choice but to nod. In fact, Xiao Chen also wanted to build a relationship with the Xia family. Who did not want to be friends with a nouveau riche? Xiao Chen was so short of money. If the Xia family gave him more missions, then Xiao Chen would be rich. Hee, my young friend, please come in. The old man grinned and made an inviting gesture before he said, allow me to introduce myself. I'm the patriarch of the Xia clan, Xia Chaonan. However, I'm a businessman, so you might not have heard of me. The provincial capital's Xia family is very famous. Of course I have heard of you. Xiao Chen was surprised to see Xia Chaonan so polite. It seemed that the Xia family had a lot to do with Xia Chaonan. Doing business was about calmness. If you were arrogant, then no one would do business with you. Hee, you flatter me. Xia Chaonan and Xiao Chen walked into the villa's living room together, while Xia Huang and Xia Fei followed behind. The man in the black suit didn't follow them in but hid among the flowers again. Xia Fei brought some tea and snacks for Xiao Chen. She no longer looked like a rich madam. Instead, she looked like an obedient servant. Thanks a lot. Xiao Chen quickly said. It was fine if he didn't know Consort Xia's identity. But now that he knew, she was the eldest daughter of the Xia family, serving him as a servant. Xiao Chen was really in awe and trepidation. Not to mention the current White Fox, even the previous young master Xiao Chen didn't have the qualifications. This time, thank you for saving Xiao Feng. If it weren't for you, our Xia family would have made a mistake in judgment and targeted the Sun family. Then, it would have been a lose-lose situation. Xia Chaonan had some lingering fear when he thought about it. Fortunately, he didn't act impulsively. There were the collateral relatives of the Xia family restraining him. The Xia family wasn't something he could decide alone. There were still his two younger brothers, one relative and one cousin, who were elders of the Xia family. With them restraining him, Xia Chaonan couldn't use the family's power to fight the Sun family. But thinking about it, it was also thanks to them. Otherwise, the consequences would be unimaginable. It was also a coincidence for me. Xiao Chen quickly said, Old Master Xia, you don't have to be so polite. I won't hide it from Mr. White Fox. This time, I secretly went to Xiao Fei's place. I wanted to fight the Sun family head-on to get her back. If it weren't for Mr. White Fox who went to the Sun family in time to investigate and rescue my little grandson, even if our Xia family didn't fall, our vitality would be greatly damaged. Xia Chaonan was an honest person. He didn't mind claiming credit for Xiao Chen, so, if Mr. White Fox is only doing it for the reward, then don't mention it. The reward is nothing. My Xia family owes you a favor. This is what I, Xia Chaonan, said. In the past, Xia Fei's promised that the Xia family owed Xiao Chen a favor, but Xiao Chen didn't take it too seriously. Because with Xia Fei's status, her promise was only a small matter. If it was a big matter, she definitely couldn't do it. But Xia Chaonan was different. As long as it didn't harm the Xia family's interests, as long as Xiaochen said it, Xia Chaonan would agree to anything because he was the Xia family's master. As long as the matter didn't harm the Xia family's interests, the elders wouldn't interfere. I'll remember it. Xiaochen nodded. Perhaps sensing Xiaochen's perfunctory attitude, Xia Chaonan continued, perhaps you don't know this, but I have a son and a daughter. You can say that I have both sons and daughters, but the third generation only has Xiaofeng. Ah. Then Miss Xia Fei. Xiaochen was a little puzzled. Why didn't Xia Fei have a child? She. Sigh. Xia Chaonan couldn't help but sigh. Xiao Fei's marriage was a combination of interests. In the past, our Xia family had a marriage with the Wang family for interests. But at that time, the Wang family's young master already had another woman. He was infatuated with her. After marrying Xiao Fei, he went to live with that woman and didn't even come back for a day. Their marriage only existed in name. Although Xiao Fei lived the life of a rich wife, and young master Wang also gave her a large amount of pocket money every month, but... Dad, I'm fine. You don't know how awesome I am now. I walk the dog and play cards every day. I'm as cool as I can be. Xia Fei said indifferently. Xiaochen was a little speechless. But this was other people's family business. Xiaochen couldn't say much. This kind of thing was common in big families. If he hadn't been kicked out of the family, Miss Xia would probably have married him unwillingly. Alright, let's not talk about this. Mr. White Fox, no matter what, we are very grateful to you this time. As long as it doesn't violate the rules, the Xia family will issue a specific task to the warrior guild and appoint you to undertake it. Xia Chaonan said. Thank you. Xiaochen didn't expect that he would successfully be accepted into the Xia family. The Jin family and the Xia family. When Xiaochen was in the Xiao family, he didn't have any relations with them. Even if he was the young master of the Xiao family and the head of the family, they wouldn't care about him. But now, Xiaochen was in a trance. The path of a cultivator was really awesome. Pardon me for asking, but if I'm not wrong, Mr. White Fox is not an ordinary martial artist. You should be a devil cultivator, right? Xia Chaonan suddenly asked. Oh. Xiaochen was slightly stunned, but then he nodded and said, yes. I am a devil cultivator. So that's how it is. My apologies for not recognizing you. Xia Chaonan was grateful to Xiaochen. Apart from saving his grandson, Xia Xiaofeng, he felt that Xiaochen was not simple. He could find his lost dog in Xia Xiaofeng. This ability was comparable to a detective. This was not something a martial artist could do, unless he was a devil cultivator with special abilities. Devil cultivators were actually very rare in the secular world. The devil cultivators that could be seen in the secular world were generally evil cultivators or demon cultivators. The real devil cultivators were the disciples of those big sections. Only a few of them would come out to gain experience. But these disciples were all the best and were highly valued by their sections. In the secular world, there were many martial artists. This was because martial artists were easy, but devil cultivators were not. They had to have a suitable physique. Moreover, the sect's mantra would not be taught to outsiders except for the disciples of the sect. Therefore, devil cultivators in the secular world were almost never seen. If Xiaochen was a devil cultivator, then which sect was he from? Of course, these were all confidential. Xia Chaonan didn't want to be annoyed and ask. From his point of view, if Xiaochen was really a powerful devil cultivator, then Xiaochen's background was probably not worse than Xia Chaonan's, or even stronger. Befriending Xiaochen was like climbing up the social ladder for the Xia family. Therefore, after confirming this, Xia Chaonan became even more respectful. I have long heard that devil cultivators are more powerful than martial cultivators. Now it seems that it is true. Although many devil cultivators were regarded as evil cultivators and demon cultivators by the righteous sects and looked down on because they were crooked, it was undeniable that devil cultivators were powerful. This was the reason why, although there were many martial cultivators, devil cultivators still had a place in the world. Xia Chaonan was a businessman. He had nothing to do with the righteous sections. In his eyes, there was no such thing as good or evil. He wanted to befriend Xiao Chen because he valued Xiao Chen's potential and background. Saving people was secondary. Don't say that. Everyone has their own strengths. Xiao Chen said seriously. In fact, what Xiao Chen said was not wrong. Martial cultivators had strong bodies. Although their attack power might be inferior to the devil cultivators of the same level, their defense was higher than the devil cultivators. Of course, Xiao Chen was not considered a devil cultivator. He was a cultivator, so naturally, he didn't have these flaws. Okay, this is my business card. If you need anything, Mr. White Fox can contact me at any time. Xia Chaonan took out his business card and handed it to Xiao Chen. Today, he just wanted to build a good relationship. He also knew that he was not familiar with Xiao Chen. It was unrealistic to force Xiao Chen to talk nonsense with him here. This was a business card made of gold. It was made of pure gold. The cost of this business card was not low. Obviously, only a very distinguished friend, Xia Chaonan, would take it out. After Xiao Chen took it, his heart suddenly moved slightly. He said to Xia Chaonan, "By the way, Patriarch Xia, you are in the medicinal herb business. Have you seen a medicinal herb called bitter fruit?" Since Xia Chaonan was a supplier to the warrior's market, he should know about the bitter fruit. Bitter fruit? Xia Chaonan was slightly stunned. He then said, "I've heard of it. This is a medicinal herb that devil cultivators need, but I don't have the means to get it. The Hong Consortium should be able to reserve it, but the price is said to be expensive at the branch factory." Why? Mr. White Fox needs bitter fruit? If that's the case, I can help you reserve some with the Hong Consortium. The things that Xiao Chen wanted were all medicinal ingredients specially used by demonic cultivators. This made Xia Chaonan even more certain of his suspicions. Chapter 181. Not at the moment, I'm just asking. Xiao Chen completely gave up this time. Even a big supplier like Xia Chaonan had no way to get the bitter fruit, not to mention those small pharmacies. But why was he so lucky that he found a random pharmacy that sold everything? But thinking about it, this was the logic of experts hiding among the people. In the boundless world, a small shop might hide a big secret. It was just that Xiao Chen was luckier. It's getting late, I should go back. Xiao Chen got up and prepared to leave. And this time, Xia Chaonan didn't say anything to stop him. Instead, he sent Xiao Chen to the door of the villa. Obviously, he treated Xiao Chen as someone who could be on equal footing with him. If he was really a disciple from one of those big devil sects who came out to train, then he really had the confidence. But Xiao Chen was a little surprised why Xia Chaonan treated him so politely. It was a little beyond the scope of gratitude. But no matter what, it was a good thing. Xiao Chen walked a few steps and stopped at a corner. He released his divine sense to see if he was being followed. But it seemed that Xia Chaonan was a very particular person. He didn't send anyone to follow him. This also proved that Xia Chaonan really wanted to be friends with Xiao Chen. So, Xiao Chen quickly walked to his villa, took off his disguise, and tiptoed into the villa. "Hey! What are you doing?" Yi Xiaoye was fiddling with her medicinal herbs in front of the flower bed. Suddenly, she heard light footsteps coming from behind her. She was shocked. When she turned around, she realized it was Xiao Chen. She was a little annoyed. "Why aren't you sleeping in the middle of the night? What are you doing here? Don't you know that people can scare people to death?" Previously, when she was doing her mission, her limelight was stolen by a newcomer, causing Yi Xiaoye to be extremely depressed. After she returned from the warrior guild, she could not fall asleep, so she stayed in the courtyard to take care of the medicinal herbs that she had planted. In the end, she was frightened by Xiao Chen, thinking that an enemy had come knocking on her door. Can't I go to the morning market to set up my stall? Xiao Chen frowned. Don't talk about me. Aren't you also wandering around here in the middle of the night? It's good enough that you didn't scare me to death. You're a big man, yet you're scared to death. Don't you feel ashamed? Yi Xiaoya snorted and no longer paid attention to Xiao Chen. She continued to fiddle with her flowers and plants. Xiao Chen was holding the mask and clothes in his hands. He was afraid that Yi Xiaoya would find out, so he did not say much to her and quickly returned to his room. After a simple tidying up, he was about to set up his stall at the morning market. However, there was still some time. So, Xiao Chen took out his phone and downloaded the app of Warrior Guild Adventures. He logged in with the phone number that White Fox had registered with him. As expected, it prompted Xiao Chen that he needed to verify a martial artist's questions. These martial artist questions were common knowledge for martial artists. Although Xiao Chen was a cultivator, he had been following the martial artist's path for the past 10 years. Answering these questions was a piece of cake for him. Welcome, Level 4 Martial Artist Member, White Fox. Xiao Chen's membership level appeared on the phone screen. The number of completed missions behind it was 2, indicating that Xiao Chen had recently completed 2 missions. One was the evil cultivator, and the other was the mission to find a child issued by the Xia family. In the column of accumulated points, there were 5,500 points. There were 2,500 points from the evil cultivator mission and 3,000 points from the Xia family mission. Next to it was a notification of a new message. Xiao Chen clicked on it and saw that a person named Yi Bia had added him as a friend. Who was Yi Bia? Xiao Chen was stunned, but he quickly thought of Yi Xiaoya. Both of them had the surname Yi, and Yi Xiaoya had said that she would add him as a friend. It was probably the same person. Either Yi Xiaoya was a fake name, or Yi Bia was a fake name. Xiao Chen clicked on confirm, and he and Yi Bia became friends. However, since Yi Xiaoya was at the flower bed, she might not be able to see his phone, so Xiao Chen first browsed through some of the missions below. By default, the missions displayed at the front were all level 4 missions. However, many of the missions were from other places. Even if the points were high, Xiao Chen was temporarily not interested. However, not long after, Xiao Chen received a new message on his phone. He clicked on it and saw that it was actually from Yi Bia. The mission has been handed in. The points will be transferred to you now, stingy. Give it to me quickly. Xiao Chen replied, then opened the curtains and looked out of the window. Sure enough, he saw Yi Xiaoya playing with her phone in front of the flower bed. Under the weak backlight of the phone, Yi Xiaoya was gritting her teeth as she typed something. After a while, Xiao Chen's phone received another system message. A transfer of 2,500 points initiated by your friend, Yi Bia, has been received. Please check it. Thanks. Xiao Chen replied and logged out of the app. He had to pack up and prepare to set up his stall. The Sun family. Early in the morning, Medicine Master's son received the news and rushed over. The Sun family was also his home. All these years, he had been secretly helping the Sun family. Otherwise, the Sun family wouldn't have such a scale. Medicine Master's son focused on alchemy and didn't have any children. Therefore, he was especially fond of Sun Rongjin. Previously, he went to a medicine master exchange and had a conflict with Xiao Chen. He had just returned to the warrior's market when he heard that Sun Rongjin was injured. After hearing that Sun Rongjin was injured, he immediately rushed over to treat him. Uncle, you must save me. I'm about to get engaged. If I become a eunuch, the girl won't like me. Sun Rongjin said with a frown. Take off your pants. I'll treat you. Medicine Master's son nodded confidently and said, then tell me, what exactly happened? Sun Rongjin quickly took off his pants. He didn't dare to hide anything. He told Medicine Master's son about how he had bad intentions towards Kerlin and how he was injured by Zhu Yingxiong. In fact, Medicine Master's son didn't care about Sun Rongjin's bullying because he was a domineering person. Otherwise, he wouldn't have had a conflict with Xiao Chen at the warrior's market that day and cancelled Xiao Chen's right to buy pills. Zhu Yingxiong is from the Zhu family. With my identity, it's not easy to suppress him. However, I will find a way to get rid of the person who helped Zhu Yingxiong kill Lu Dianbiao and came here to interrogate you. Do you have his appearance and information? Medicine Master Sun asked. Sun Rongjin was only repeating, so he didn't mention the fox mask. He only said that it was a martial artist who accepted a trial mission. Therefore, Medicine Master Sun didn't know that this person was the one he met at the warrior's market. Sun Rongjin's underling, Adu, quickly went to the surveillance room and showed Medicine Master Sun Xiao Chen's appearance. What? It's this person? Medicine Master Sun was shocked when he saw the screenshot of Xiao Chen. He also remembered who this person was. In the warrior's market, there was almost no one who dared to challenge him, so he had a deep impression of him. Uncle, do you know him? Sun Rongjin was also stunned. He thought that this white fox was very famous in the warriors' guild. If even his uncle knew him, then it wouldn't be easy to deal with him. I don't know him, but this guy dared to block my way at the warrior's market and challenge me. Humph. Medicine Master Sun snorted. Ah. This person dared to challenge my uncle. Why don't you kill him? Sun Rongjin heaved a sigh of relief. If this person was his uncle's enemy, then killing him wouldn't be a problem. It would be a piece of cake. If I knew that this person had a grudge against you, I would have endured it that day. Medicine Master Sun shook his head and said, Now, I've already informed the people in the warrior's market not to sell him pills. Everyone knows that I have a grudge against him, so it'll be a little difficult for me to deal with him. Why? With your status, even if you don't deal with him personally, wouldn't it be easy to investigate his information? Sun Rongjin was a little stunned. That's right. But if I investigate his information now and he dies, everyone will think that I killed him. Then, the Warriors Guild will investigate me, so I won't try. All these years, I've secretly given the Sun family a lot of benefits. If they find out, I won't be able to stay here anymore. Medicine Master Sun shook his head and said, So I really can't ask or care about this matter. I can't leave any evidence behind. If you want to take revenge, you can think of a way yourself. Ah. But uncle, I don't even know who he is or where he is. How can I take revenge? Sun Rongjin's face turned ugly after hearing this. He thought that with his uncle's support in the Warriors Guild, revenge would be easy. My current status is not at the level where I can compete with the Warriors Guild. Medicine Master Sun was very determined. Although he was arrogant and despotic, he was a cautious person. This kind of person was also the most insidious and difficult to deal with. However, I can introduce you to a person from the streets. If you look for someone in Songning City, some people from the streets will have unexpected effects. Oh. Okay, then I'll investigate in secret. When the time comes, I'll kill him without anyone knowing. I promise I won't implicate Uncle. Sun Rongjin said. There's no problem with your injury. I've already applied the medicinal paste that I've prepared for you. You'll be able to stand up and walk soon. Medicine Master Sun said, You should also take this pill. I promise there won't be any side effects. Thank you, Uncle. Sun Rongjin was surprised and happy. If he was an ordinary warrior, he would definitely not receive such treatment. But he had an uncle who was an alchemist. Everything became simple. I'll contact a person from the streets for you. Medicine Master Sun stood up and took out his phone. He dialed the number of one of his disciples. Xiao Bo, find me a trustworthy person from the streets. I have a use for him. After you find him, call me directly. I'll go over and find you. Medicine Master Sun instructed. Okay. Xiao Bo immediately replied, Just my cousin. I trust him. I'll ask him to come over now. Okay, wait for me. Medicine Master Sun hung up the phone and said to Sun Rongjin, You take a break and follow me. I'm just introducing you. From now on, you'll be in charge. Chapter 182. Don't worry, Uncle. Sun Rongjin quickly said. It was good enough that Medicine Master Sun could help him this much. There was a commoner helping him find the white fox, and the Sun family had experts. When the time came, he could just arrange for experts to kill it. Alchemist Sun brought Sun Rongjin to a special resting room in the warrior guild. This was his private territory. Without permission, no one could enter. After all, when an alchemist was refining medicine, other than keeping it a secret, he could not be disturbed. His disciple, Lu Libo, was already waiting in the outer room of the lounge with a red-haired commoner dressed like a gangster. Lu Libo had the key to the outer room, but he didn't have the key to the inner room. The inner room was authenticated by Medicine Master Sun's fingerprint, so only Medicine Master Sun could enter. Master, this is a distant cousin of our village. His name is Lu Litzao. He is currently a commoner and mingles around the morning market. Lu Libo introduced. The underworld calls him Brother Chow. Songning City's underworld was basically monopolized by the Lu family, but there were also some people in the marketplace who had a stronger relationship. This Lu Litzao was one of them. Because of his relationship with the warrior guild's Medicine Master Sun's disciple, the Lu family also turned a blind eye and did not eliminate him. Medicine Master Sun snorted and said to Sun Rongjin, "You guys go out and talk." After that, Medicine Master Sun walked into his lounge. Obviously, he didn't want to have too much relationship with these commoners. If there was a problem in the future, it would have nothing to do with him. Sun Rongjin naturally understood this. He nodded to Lu Litzao and said, "Mr. Lu, come out and talk with me." Lu Litzao already knew Sun Rongjin's identity. He was Medicine Master Sun's nephew. If he could build a good relationship with him, it would be inevitable that he would have a meteoric rise in the future. Therefore, he quickly flattered, "Young Master Jin, you can just call me Red Hair." Okay. Sun Rongjin nodded and said, "Help me do things well. In the future, there will be benefits for you." Sun Rongjin also understood that sometimes, when it was not good for the children of aristocratic families to stand out, it was better for these commoners to come forward. They could find out what was going on and who was going on without alerting the enemy. "Thank you, young Master Jin." Lu Litzao said gratefully, "I wonder what young Master Jin wants me to do." Sun Rongjin got into a car with red fur. Then he handed him a portrait and said, "Do you see this? It's a person with a fox mask in this portrait. Help me find his whereabouts. Find out who saw him and his identity. As long as you find out, I'll give you 100,000 yuan. Also, you can always work for me in the future." "Alright, no problem." Red Hair took the portrait and looked at it carefully. However, this kind of mask was very common. There were stalls selling it in the morning market. He had even blackmailed the stall owner, so he couldn't see any problems from the photo. He said, "Young Master Jin, is this the only photo? This mask is a bit too common. It's sold everywhere. This is the only one at the moment, but he is a martial artist. This range should be small. You can ask around." Sun Rongjin said, "This martial artist should be a rogue cultivator who often appears in Songning City. That range is indeed a lot smaller." Red Hair nodded. "Oh yeah, young Master Jin, are you also a martial artist?" I'm considered a stage 1 inner force martial artist." Sun Rongjin nodded and said, "That's really awesome. I admire martial artists the most. It would be great if I could become a martial artist." Red Hair said enviously, "But, young Master Jin, it's actually the easiest to ask around on the morning market. However, I had a conflict with a stall owner at the morning market and was bullied by him. If I don't settle him, it won't be good for me to ask around. Do you think, can you help me teach him a lesson?" Lu Litzao was good at judging the situation. Since Sun Rongjin was a stage 1 inner force martial artist, it would be easy for him to teach that deep-fried dough stick guy a lesson. He was the red fur who had a conflict with Xiao Chen and Kerlin at the morning market a few days ago. "Oh, of course, that's not a problem." Sun Rongjin understood that if he wanted the red fur to work for him wholeheartedly without any benefits in advance, then he had to show his strength to convince him. That's great. Then, young Master Jean, shall we go to the morning market first? Red Fur was overjoyed and said quickly. He had been racking his brains for many days on how to get revenge on that deep-fried dough stick guy, Xiao Chen. If it was a fight, he couldn't beat him. If it was a competition of wits, before he could figure it out, it was ruined by a second-generation rich kid. The same trick couldn't be used a second time. He didn't know any martial artists. Although his distant cousin was a disciple of Medicine Master's son from the Warrior Guild, he was only a disciple. Medicine Master's son had a few disciples. Before he became a disciple, he couldn't make any martial artist friends. Therefore, he could only swallow his anger for now. Now that he had a chance, how could he let it go? Sun Rongjin let the red fur drive to the morning market street. The car was Sun Rongjin's Ferrari, and it was quite cool to drive. The red fur also had a taste of being a second-generation rich kid, so he drove into the morning market street. Although the crowd that was pushed away cursed, they didn't dare to say anything when they saw that the car was a Ferrari. A few days ago, there was a story of a young master daring to drive a car and hit someone on the morning market street. Even the most unreasonable people didn't dare to joke around with their lives. Moreover, when they saw that the person driving was the tyrant of the morning market street, the red fur, they didn't dare to say anything. It was the end of the mealtime, and there were still many people buying breakfast at Xiao Chen's breakfast stall. The red fur took a glance and couldn't help but hesitate. It wasn't that he couldn't make a move now, but there were too many people watching. This is the one selling deep-fried dough sticks. Seeing the red fur stop the car, Sun Rongjin took a glance and frowned. He said, "There are too many people. It's not good to make a move now. Let's wait until there are no more people." Sun Rongjin wasn't afraid of anything, but with the advancement of technology now, it would be embarrassing for the Sun family if someone took a photo of him and posted it online. That's fine too. There is a noodle seller in front who offended me. Let's go and teach them a lesson first. The red fur nodded and said, "Let's go." Sun Rongjin didn't mind. Since he was already here, he would settle whatever grudges the red fur had. Then, the red fur could work for him in peace. The red fur drove the car to the noodle stall. There weren't many people at the noodle stall. He really wanted to step on the accelerator and crash the noodle stall, but he thought that this was a Ferrari. If he crashed it, the noodle stall's loss wouldn't be as high as the money he spent to repair his car. Young Master Jean, it's that noodle stall. They are just ordinary people. I'll deal with them. You can wait for me in the car. The red fur didn't cause trouble in the past because he was afraid of Xiao Chen. He was afraid that Xiao Chen would be a busybody, but now that young Master Jean was here, he couldn't wait for Xiao Chen to be a busybody. Sun Rongjin's eyes suddenly lit up. Isn't this Kerlin? This pretty girl sells noodle at the market? This is great. Without Zhu Yingxiong being a busybody, wouldn't it be easy for him to take down this pretty girl? With this thought in mind, Sun Rongjin pushed the door open and got out of the car. He walked towards Kerlin with a grin. Originally, the red fur wanted to settle it himself, but he didn't expect Sun Rongjin to get out of the car too. He was immediately excited as though he was injected with chicken blood. He walked over and slammed the table angrily. Motherf asterisk cur, give me a bowl of noodle. Okay. Mother Lin turned around and was shocked when she saw the red fur. She didn't expect the red fur to suddenly appear here. She almost fell to the ground. She asked in fear, That. Why are you here? Of course, to eat noodle. The red fur chuckled. Why? Are you afraid? Are you feeling guilty? If you know what's good for you, give me 10,000 yuan. Otherwise, don't even think about your noodle stall stopping. I'll come every day. As he spoke, the red fur spat into the bowl of a customer who was eating noodle. The customer quickly stood up and glanced at the red fur. He didn't dare to speak directly, so he could only say to Mother Lin, "Hey, I'm looking for trouble with you. I'm implicated. I won't be paying." With that said, the person turned around and left. The other customers followed suit. They stood up and left one after another without paying. This made Mother Lin's heart ache. "AI, don't leave, if you want to continue doing business, then hurry up and auction the money. Otherwise, it'll be like this every day." The red fur said arrogantly. Lin was also scared silly. She thought the matter was over. Who knew that this red fur would come again? "Stupid girl, this is all your classmate's fault. Hurry up and find him. Hurry up." Mother Lin said to Lin. Lin really didn't know how to answer. From the bottom of her heart, she didn't want to interact with Xiao Chen anymore. Xiao Chen was really too scary. She was really scared, but she couldn't tell her mother. She could only mumble, I don't have his number, can't you find him if you don't have it?" Mother Lin ordered. Hee, little beauty, if you follow me, I can let this matter go. This red fur is my subordinate." Sun Rongjin walked over and said to Lin. You are?" Lin subconsciously took 2 steps back. She didn't dare to be too close to Sun Rongjin. This person was really scary. Although he wasn't as scary as Xiao Chen, he was more annoying. Hee, you're so smart. You should know what I mean." Sun Rongjin said faintly. I'll go find someone." Lin really couldn't take it anymore. She stumbled and went to find Xiao Chen. Although she was scared, only Xiao Chen could solve the matter at the moment. Sun Rongjin frowned. Just as he was about to grab Lin back, the red fur waved his hand at him and whispered, "He went to find the kid who sold youtiao." Chapter 183. I see. That's great. Let's clean it up together. Sun Rongjin nodded. He didn't expect these 2 things to be the same. Lin Kuer quickly ran to Xiao Chen's youtiao stall, panting. When Tang Tang saw her, she was a little puzzled. "Little sister Lin, what are you doing?" "Wait a minute, I'll fill the youtiao for you." "No. There's no need." Xiao Chen, that red-haired guy is looking for trouble again," Lin Kuer said while gasping for breath. "Again?" Xiao Chen put down the work in his hands and said to her, "You stay here. Don't go back yet. I'll help you take a look." "You can help me." Okay. To be honest, Lin didn't want to rush back. Young Master Jean didn't look like a good person, and she was afraid to see him. Since Xiao Chen said so, she would stay here to help. Xiao Chen quickly walked in the direction of the noodle stall. However, before he reached it, he saw the person standing at the noodle stall from afar. It was Sun Rongjin and the red-haired guy. He wasn't surprised to see the red-haired guy because Lin had said it before. But this Sun Rongjin surprised Xiao Chen. Why was he here? And it seemed like he came with the red-haired guy. But whether he came or not, Xiao Chen had to stand up for him. He hesitated and didn't go back to take the mask. First of all, Lin was there, and it would be weird for him to come back. If he took out the mask, it would be harder to explain. Second, Xiao Chen didn't want the white fox to be exposed too much. If the white fox appeared in this generation, he was afraid that someone would link it to him sooner or later. Xiao Chen quickly walked over and directly smacked the back of the red-haired guy's head. The guy staggered and fell to the ground, knocking out one of his front teeth. Xiao Chen was a 4th-level refinement stage cultivator. It was very easy for him to sneak behind the red-haired guy without anyone noticing. Even Sun Rongjin did not notice him. Therefore, Xiao Chen's sudden attack made Sun Rongjin feel extremely humiliated. He was a dignified martial artist with stage 1 inner force. How could he not notice Xiao Chen's appearance? When did a fried dough stick seller become a master? "Kid, who are you?" Sun Rongjin said as he threw a punch at Xiao Chen. "Pa." Xiao Chen's slap sent Sun Rongjin tumbling. If Zhu Yingxiong had to spend some effort to hit him, then Xiao Chen could hit him with ease and pleasure. Sun Rongjin's face instantly swelled up. This was Xiao Chen's strength that was less than stage 1 inner force. If he used his full strength, then Sun Rongjin would be slapped to death by Xiao Chen with one slap. You're almost at stage 1 inner force? Sun Rongjin stared at Xiao Chen in shock. How was this possible? Was there a master among the people? This is the downtown area. I won't kill you. If there's a next time, there won't be a third time. Xiao Chen looked coldly at Sun Rongjin and warned him in a low voice. To be honest, he didn't have time to argue with Sun Rongjin. This kind of young master from the city had nothing to do with him. He should just go back and stay there. Xiao Chen couldn't even handle his opponents in the city, so he didn't have time to deal with him. Sun Rongjin wasn't stupid. He knew that he had just recovered from his injuries and couldn't use his full strength. If he were to fight with Xiao Chen, he would be the one at a disadvantage. It wouldn't be too late for him to take revenge on Xiao Chen in the future. He climbed up from the ground and said to Red Hair, "Let's go first." Ah. Yes. Red Hair was extremely shocked. So this Youtiao seller was also a martial artist. Then he was really King lucky that he didn't get beaten to death. Martial artists were legendary experts. These people weren't bound by the rules of the secular world. They were under the jurisdiction of the Warrior Guild and a mysterious department in the Xia Kingdom, the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. It was said that the predecessor of the Warrior Guild wasn't called the Warrior Guild, but an alliance organization. The founder was also inextricably linked to the Supernatural Investigation Bureau. Of course, this was all a legend. It was something that happened hundreds of years ago, and no one knew if it was true or not. In short, with the existence of these two powerful organizations, martial artists usually followed the rules. At least, they wouldn't casually make a move on ordinary people, except for those evil cultivators. After returning to the car, Sun Rongjin and Red Hair quickly left. It could be said that they came in a hurry and left in a hurry. When Mother Lin saw how strong Xiao Chen was, she immediately stopped complaining. "Xiao Chen, it's all thanks to you this time. Auntie will cook some noodles for you to eat. Take a break. From now on, the safety of our family in the morning market will be in your hands." "Oh, no problem." Xiao Chen nodded. If something happened to Kerlin, he couldn't just ignore it. Even if Mother Lin didn't say anything, he would still come to help. "I won't eat the noodles. I should go back to school now. Auntie, I'll leave first. If there's anything, ask Kuer to look for me." "Sure. I'll have to trouble you in the future." Mother Lin thought that Xiao Chen was Kerlin's pursuer. Although she felt that it wasn't good to use Xiao Chen, this matter was caused by Xiao Chen. If he didn't care, who would care? Xiao Chen returned to the Youtiao stall. Kerlin didn't expect Xiao Chen to return so quickly. She was a little surprised. "The matter is resolved? And they won't come again?" Xiao Chen nodded and comforted her. Of course, with Red Hair's vengeful personality, he would still come next time when he was confident. Moreover, that Sun Rongjin wasn't a good person. However, he was afraid that Kerlin would be worried, so Xiao Chen said this. "Ah." Kerlin's face immediately became extremely pale. She subconsciously thought that when Xiao Chen said that they wouldn't come again, it was Xiao Chen who killed them. Thinking of what happened that night, Kerlin's face was pale. She almost sat on the ground. She felt that Xiao Chen's body was emitting a gloomy chill. She turned around subconsciously. I'm going back." After that, Kerlin ran away quickly. She even forgot to say goodbye to Tang Tang. Sister Lin is so strange today. Tang Tang looked at Kerlin's back and said. Maybe she was scared by the previous Red Hair. Xiao Chen didn't care. "Oh, what about Red Hair?" Tang Tang asked. "I beat him away." Xiao Chen smiled bitterly and shook his head. This time, he was going against Sun Rongjin again. But it didn't matter. So be it. Anyway, the Sun family wasn't a martial arts family. Even if they had opinions, they wouldn't dare to come to Songning City to cause trouble. After selling for a while, Xiao Chen began to close the stall. It was time for the two to go to school. Inside the Ferrari, Sun Rongjin's face was extremely gloomy. The first time he supported his underling, he was slapped in the face. This made his face very ugly. Young Master Jean, I didn't expect that deep-fried dough stick guy to be a martial artist. I'm sorry. I didn't investigate the situation clearly. I heard that you have just recovered from a serious illness. If you wait until you recover to your peak state, you can beat him up easily. But now... it's all my fault. It had to be said that this Lu Litzao was a character. When these words came out, not only did he flatter Sun Rongjin and let Sun Rongjin have face, but he also took all the responsibility on himself. Well, it's not your fault. I also didn't expect that ordinary deep-fried dough stick guy to be a master. Sun Rongjin nodded and said, but don't worry, I will definitely take revenge for you. That deep-fried dough stick guy, I won't let him go. Of course, with young Master Jin's background, wouldn't killing him be as easy as killing an ant? Red Hair flattered. That's right. If he was just an ordinary person, I would kill him as a martial artist. If the matter was exposed, then the warrior guild would definitely find trouble with me. But he is also a martial artist, so it doesn't matter. Even if I kill him, it can only mean that he is not strong enough. Sun Rongjin sneered. His mood was a lot better. Well, I'll leave that fox mask to you. As for this deep-fried dough stick guy, you'll be responsible for helping me investigate his background. You don't have to fight with him, I'll deal with him later. No problem, young Master Jean. Don't worry, leave it to me. Red Hair patted his chest and promised. Xiao Chen and Tang Tang went to school together. Xiao Chen felt that his current life was very good. He didn't know why, but Xiao Chen had never been so happy before. It wasn't because he had strength, but because he felt that life was very fulfilling when he was with Tang Tang every day. Xiao Chen, good morning. Lu Zhenming saw Xiao Chen and Tang Tang as soon as he got off the car, so he went up to greet them. Although he didn't like Xiao Chen in his heart and even hated him, he didn't mind temporarily using Xiao Chen in order to pursue Qing Menjing. Oh, young Master Lu, what's the matter? Xiao Chen asked. These days, Qing Menjing didn't pay much attention to me. Do you think it's time for me to launch an attack? Lu Zhenming found that he really couldn't leave Xiao Chen. His pursuit of Qing Menjing was completely driven by Xiao Chen. If Xiao Chen had nothing to do, he wouldn't have the opportunity to contact Qing Menjing. Why do you ask me about this? Think about it yourself, Xiao Chen said. But, can you organize some activities, such as the last car race, or I won't have the opportunity to contact Qing Menjing? Lu Zhenming said with a bitter face, she doesn't eat breakfast with me now, and I don't have the opportunity to talk to her in school. Oh, activities? Okay, I'll think about it and then tell you. Xiao Chen gave a perfunctory reply and went into the classroom with Tang Tang. Lu Zhenming also saw Xiao Chen's perfunctory reply, and his face was a little gloomy. It seemed that because he didn't give him money, this guy began to refuse to do things. But Lu Zhenming really didn't have money recently. He had spent a lot of money during this period. It cost him 1 million to buy a broken J8 bowl, and he was blackmailed by Jean Bebe a lot. Besides, he also owed a lot of debts. How could he have money to give to Xiao Chen? The hospitalization fee of Ma Gangmen hadn't been settled yet. By the way, during this period, Lu Zhenming only focused on pursuing Qing Menjing, and he didn't go to see Ma Gangmen. I should take Skinny Monkey to see him at night to see if he's okay. If he's okay, I can get out of the hospital as soon as possible, so as not to waste the medical expenses. Lu Zhenming thought. Xiao Chen didn't have time to care about what Lu Zhenming thought. After sitting in his seat, he took out his phone and began to look for tasks to see if there were any suitable tasks. Chapter 184. However, it seemed that the missions were refreshed too quickly. It was impossible for Xiao Chen to look through them one by one. After looking for a long time, he still didn't find a suitable mission. He clicked on Yi Bia's chat window and sent her a message. Are there any missions that I can do recently? It's best if it's local to Songning City. Don't go far. However, there was no reply after the message was sent. It wasn't until the end of the first class that Yi Xiaoye's reply came late. There are very few missions in Songning City, and they are all low-level missions. It's not easy to get a level 4 mission, but it's beyond the level 4 range. If you want to do the mission, go to another city. Forget it, I can't go to another city. I have a special situation. Xiao Chen replied helplessly. It seemed that although the missions seemed to be profitable, it wasn't as easy as Xiao Chen imagined. He was lucky. One person could complete 2 missions. At other times, it was difficult to complete even 1 mission. Then I'll pay attention. Yi Xiaoye replied with a knife emoji, but then she said, but you have to take me with you to do the mission. I don't need the points, but I want to upgrade my account's level. Of course, if you don't contribute, I won't give you any points. Okay. Xiao Chen agreed readily. There's such a good thing. I don't need points, I just need to take the mission. Then I'll have an extra helper. As for the account's level, Xiao Chen didn't care at all. Even if he completed 100 level 4 missions and leveled up to a higher level, it would be useless. Songning City No. 1 High School. Qiao Yuliang's face was a little gloomy. He received a call from the person behind the scenes, asking him why Xiao Chen wasn't dead yet. How many days had passed? How could he have the chance to kill Xiao Chen? It happened on Saturday, and it was only Tuesday now. He needed time to think of a solution. Without a choice, Qiao Yuliang could only call Chen Jinpeng over. Brother Liang, why are you looking for me? Asked Chen Jinpeng. It's still about Xiao Chen. The more I look at him, the more I dislike him. Why don't you find another opportunity to kill him? I'm afraid that he and Qing Menjing will do something. Last time when we were racing, Qing Menjing seemed to have a good relationship with him. Qiao Yuliang found a reason to kill Xiao Chen. This, racing was the best opportunity to kill him. Who knew that the racer, Li Shanpao, was so useless? He didn't kill Xiao Chen, but he died himself, Chen Jinpeng said, but Xiao Chen was fine, but that Lu Zhenming was really annoying. If he hadn't changed Xiao Chen's car, Xiao Chen would have died. Don't bring him along next time. Do you think you can stop wearing this just because I say so? Qiao Yuliang was also very helpless. That guy is a member of the Lu family, and he is not an ordinary person. I said not to let him go, but did he listen to me? He beat me up, but I still couldn't do anything about it, right? Aristocratic families have their own rules. When the younger generation fights, as long as no one is killed or seriously injured, the family will not care. Do you think my grandfather is Jean Beibe's grandfather? That's true. Chen Jinpeng thought about it and said, why don't we join forces with Shen Jingxian and organize an outing to the beach to play and create some accidents? I remember that Xiao Chen doesn't know how to swim. When I went to the swimming pool with him in the past, he didn't go into the water. He just looked at the beauties on the shore. Oh. That's a good idea. Qiao Yuliang's eyes lit up after listening. He couldn't kill Xiao Chen blatantly now. If he could let Xiao Chen die accidentally, that would be the best. Yeah, when we take the motorboat or kayak, we can cause an accident and drown him. He can't blame us then, Chen Jinpeng suggested. Okay, then it's settled. Go and contact Shen Jingxian. If she doesn't go, Qing Menjing won't go, and it will be difficult for Xiao Chen to go, Qiao Yuliang said. Don't worry, Brother Liang. I will treat Xiao Chen and Qing Menjing to dinner tonight to talk about this matter. Chen Jinpeng said. During the lunch break, Chen Jinpeng called Xiao Chen, Boss Xiao Chen, it's Jinpeng. Oh, what's the matter? Xiao Chen and Tang Tang went to the cafeteria for lunch at noon, and Jing Xiaoquan went back to his martial arts club to eat. This is the case. This weekend, I'm going to organize an outing. After all, Boss Xiao-Chen, you have transferred to another school, so we can't see each other often. But time can't dilute the friendship between us. Qin Jinpeng thought for a whole morning and thought of a set of words to impress Xiao-Chen, but he didn't expect to be interrupted by Xiao-Chen directly. Okay, don't talk nonsense. Just say that Chao Yuliang wants to pursue Qing Menjing, and then wants to ask her out through me, right? Although Xiao-Chen said so, he sneered in his heart. Is it that Chao Yuliang can't hold back anymore and wants to make a move on me? Huh, Boss Xiao-Chen, you are really amazing. You guessed my intention at once. Yes, it is indeed Brother Liang who asked me to invite you and Qing Menjing. What do you think? Qin Jinpeng was a little depressed. He had prepared a lot of beautiful words in vain. He also wrote a speech for it, but it was useless in the end. Is there an appearance fee? Xiao-Chen asked. Qin Jinpeng was stunned, but he still said, yes. That's good. Prepare the appearance fee. I will be there. But pay first. Nowadays, Xiao-Chen would not let go of the big money. Once he got the small money, he would ask for as much as he could, because he was too poor. Tonight, he was probably even worse than a beggar again. Okay, it's my treat tonight. You take Qing Menjing with you. I'll give you the appearance fee. Qin Jinpeng said. Okay, call me at night. Xiao-Chen agreed. Qin Jinpeng hung up the phone and shook his head helplessly. He went to ask Chao Yuliang for the appearance fee. He was out of money. Even though he was the heir of the Qin family, he had been cheated by Jean Bebe for a long time. Now that he had bought a new BMW X5, he had almost spent all his money. It was not appropriate for him to ask his family for more. Xiao-Chen, who called you? What appearance fee? Are you going to race again? Tang Tang asked. No, it's Qin Jinpeng. He invited me to go out with the young lady. I won't go if he doesn't give me the appearance fee. Xiao-Chen said. Pfft. I have to give you money to go out? How can he be so deceptive? Tang Tang laughed after hearing that. Who asked him to be willing? Xiao-Chen shrugged and said, he just wants to pursue Qing Menjing through me. Do you think he is so kind? That's true. Tang Tang nodded and comforted him. But it doesn't matter. My cousin is not bad. I will introduce her to you when I have the chance. Okay, that's what you said. If you can't find a girlfriend, you will go and take your cousin. Xiao-Chen also said jokingly. In fact, he also knew that even if she was a distant relative of the Tang family, such a beauty was a resource that could be used. In any case, it would not be Xiao-Chen's turn unless he returned to the Xiao family. Tang Tang and Xiao-Chen came to the school's canteen. As soon as they sat down, they saw Yu Xiaochuan coming over. He smiled and greeted Xiao-Chen, saying, Xiao-Chen, how is it? Have you confirmed your relationship with Tang Tang? Ha! Tang Tang hasn't agreed to my pursuit. Xiao-Chen laughed. If he really admitted it, then he had no value in Yu Xiaochuan's eyes, and Yu Xiaochuan would no longer be used by Xiao-Chen. So how could Xiao-Chen give him a positive answer? However, Xiao-Chen gave him a glimmer of hope. It made Yu Xiaochuan feel that he was indeed pursuing Tang Tang, but he had not succeeded yet. In this way, before he succeeded in pursuing Tang Tang, Xiao-Chen would have an advantage. I see. Sure enough, Yu Xiaochuan was a little disappointed. He wanted to ask about the news of old Master Tang breaking off the engagement, but he didn't know how far Xiao-Chen and Tang Tang had progressed. If they were really together, he had an excuse, but now it seemed that they were still one step away. Then you work harder. I am optimistic about you. AI, don't mention it. I am not optimistic about myself. Picking up girls requires money. The 20,000 you gave me last time is too little. Why don't you give me more? Xiao-Chen said casually. Now, he had points in his hands. Only the 2 million that Xie Fei gave him was in cash. If the points were exchanged quickly through the Warrior Guild's network channel, he could also withdraw them. However, the ratio was much lower than selling the points. It was not very cost-effective. However, if it was for selling, Xiaochen couldn't because his account level was too low. Every time he completed a level 1 mission, the system would automatically add 1 experience point. Level 4 was 4 experience points. Only members with more than 100 experience points could issue mission commissions. Newcomers didn't have the authority. Of course, they could also trade in private, but they didn't know each other's identity. Whether it was the first payment or the first share, it was not very sure. So, Xiaochen planned to wait and then sell the points. Therefore, Xiaochen was still short of money at the moment. If he could squeeze a little from these nouveaux riches around him, it would be a little. What girl picking up fund? Yu Xiaochuan was stunned. When did I give you a girl picking up fund? Oh. Xiaochen was also stunned, so he said, last time, when I had a conflict with Qi Zhigao, at the school gate. When did I give you a girl picking up fund? I didn't give it to you. Yu Xiaochuan frowned. He thought for a long time, but he didn't remember giving Xiaochen money. He didn't do it, and he didn't need to pretend that he did it. He had been trying to pretend to be a gentleman. How could he change because of a little money? At first, Xiaochen thought that Yu Xiaochuan was embarrassed to admit that he secretly supported Xiaochen to pursue Tang Tang, but it was not right when he thought about it carefully. If he secretly supported Xiaochen, he shouldn't have asked whether Xiaochen had pursued Tang Tang or not, and he wouldn't have invited Xiaochen and Tang Tang to dinner before. Looking at Yu Xiaochuan's expression again, it didn't seem to be fake, as if he really didn't know about it. Could it be that the person who gave me the money that day was someone else? Chapter 185. Who could it be? The people who could get in touch with Tang Tang that morning were Kerlin, Yu Xiaochuan, Qi Zhigao, and Xiao Xiao. Was it from Qi Zhigao or Xiao Xiao? Qi Zhigao was absolutely impossible. It was good enough that he was not asked to pay for the maintenance of the Land Rover. Why would he be given money? Was his brain punctured? As for Xiao Xiao, thinking of Xiao Xiao's contemptuous face that day, Xiaochen also felt that it was unlikely. Besides, why would Xiao Xiao give me money? Then there was Kerlin, but she was so poor. Why would she give me money? Others didn't know her family situation, but Xiaochen knew it clearly. It was hard to say whether she had 20,000 yuan in her family. In comparison, Yu Xiaochuan was the most likely, but it wasn't him. Was it Tang Tang herself? That was even more impossible. If it was Tang Tang's, she would just give it to me directly. She didn't need to use such a hypocritical method. Tang Tang was a straightforward person. Just like the last time she took me to the bank to withdraw money, there was no need for this. Oh, that's my mistake. You haven't given it yet. Why don't you give me some money? Xiaochen said to Yu Xiaochuan. If you can make Tang Tang promise to be with you on the spot, I will support you. How about 500,000 yuan? As a cohabitation fund? Yu Xiaochuan hesitated and said while gritting his teeth. 500,000 yuan? Xiaochen didn't expect that Yu Xiaochuan would really spend a lot to achieve his goal, but, compared to the value of Yu Xiaochuan, Xiaochen still chose to refuse. Isn't it too little? It's not my character to betray my goddess for money and let her answer against her will. I'd better wait for her to agree naturally. A haze flashed in Yu Xiaochuan's eyes, but he gritted his teeth and said, 1 million. How about 1 million? He did not expect Xiaochen to refuse. In his opinion, 500,000 was already quite a lot. Xiaochen was really greedy. Qiao Yuliang and Chen Jinpeng invited me to race cars. Not only did they give me a racing bonus, but they also gave me hundreds of thousands of yuan as an appearance fee. You only gave me 1 million yuan. Forget it, I don't talk to people who are insincere. Xiaochen said and went to get his food. Then how much do you want? Yu Xiaochuan was in a hurry to break off the engagement. If Xiaochen could give him a number, he would have to gather it even if he had to. Tang Tang's engagement would delay his engagement with the children of other aristocratic families. Recently, the Yu clan had taken a fancy to an aristocratic family from another province, and was preparing to form a marriage alliance with them. However, Yu Xiaochuan had not yet broken off the engagement. If they were to hastily form a marriage alliance, it would be disrespectful to the Tang clan and that aristocratic family from another province. Moreover, Yu Xiaochuan was an upright gentleman, so it was even more impossible for him to do such a thing that violated the bottom line of morality. 5 million yuan. I'll think about it. Otherwise, forget it. Xiao Chen said, if you give me 5 million yuan, I promise to get Tang Tang this semester. What do you mean get it? Make it clear. 5 million yuan. If you can get Tang Tang this semester, I'll give it to you. Yu Xiaochuan pondered for a moment and said fiercely. Okay, deal. Give me the money. Xiao Chen said, you'd better send it to me before I change my mind. Okay, no problem. Wait for me here. I'll get the money for you. Give me your bank account number. I'll transfer the money to you when I get it. 5 million yuan was not too much for Yu Xiaochuan, nor was it too little. Xiao Chen was just stuck at this bottom line. If he asked for too much, Yu Xiaochuan would run away. If he asked for too little, it would not be worthwhile for him. He used to be a child of an aristocratic family, so he knew what the limit of money a child of an aristocratic family could ask for. Of course, Xiao Chen still asked for less. Yu Xiaochuan could ask for more than 5 million yuan from the Yu family. Firstly, he rarely spent money. How could the family satisfy him if he asked for it once in a while? Secondly, his breaking off the engagement was also a big deal for the Yu family. The Yu family would definitely support him. Xiao Chen told him his bank account number. Then, Yu Xiaochuan turned around and went downstairs. He left the cafeteria to get the money. Hey, how can you promise him this? He also said, that this semester. When Tang Tang said this, she lowered her head. She was a little embarrassed. Although she usually looked like a girl, when it came to her own matters, she became a fake man. Oh, isn't it just a push? Then push one for him to see. Xiao Chen said with a smile. You really want to push? Tang Tang widened her eyes and looked at Xiao Chen incredulously. She couldn't believe that this was said by Xiao Chen. In her heart, there was a moment of shyness and bitterness. Xiao Chen actually wanted to do that with me for 5 million yuan? Yeah, but you have to suffer a little. You stand on the ground, and I will push you down. Then, it will be fine. Xiao Chen said. Pfft. Ahem, ahem, ahem. After Tang Tang heard it, she suddenly burst into laughter. Is this considered as pushing? You are really a scammer. He said to push you down, not me. Who can he blame? Who asked him to be stupid? Xiao Chen snorted and suddenly said, Hey, I say, Tang Tang, did you think wrongly just now? It shouldn't be. Don't you think of me as a pure brother? I didn't. I was shocked because I thought of you as a brother. How could you make such a decision? If it wasn't pure, I would have asked you to push me directly. Tang Tang quibbled. Hee. I'm going to get the food. Xiao Chen stood up to get the rice. When he came back, Yu Xiaochuan also came back. Yu Xiaochuan saw him and immediately said, the money has been transferred. Look, don't forget your promise. This semester, I have been very supportive of you. Considering that we are both children of aristocratic families, and Tang Tang used to be my fiancé, this money is a gift from me to you. Oh, thank you. Xiao Chen nodded. When there is a suitable opportunity, I will push her down and ask you to see it. This guy is really hypocritical. In order to break off the engagement, he said it was to break off the engagement. He also found a lot of reasons. He said it in a dignified manner as if it was really the case. In fact, who didn't know it in their heart? Ask me? Yu Shaochuan was stunned, but he still nodded and said, "If you have this hobby, then I can go and see it. If there was a chance to record it, then he would have even more evidence." He had no intention of releasing the video or blackmailing Xiaochen. A gentleman like him who pretended to be upright would never do such a thing. His goal was to prove that Tang Tang had already cheated on him and that she would no longer have anything to do with him. "Okay, I'll let you know when the time comes." Xiaochen saw the notification on his phone that 5 million had been transferred to his account. He was very happy. After Yu Shaochuan left, he was already in the mood to eat. He was so excited that he wanted to quickly find Elder Tang and explain everything. Just a moment ago, he had secretly recorded the conversation between him and Xiaochen. Although this conversation could be considered bragging and had no practical use, at least it was a good start, right? Plus, this matter was already set in stone. He didn't believe that Elder Tang would have any reason not to let it go. Thinking of this, Yu Shaochuan directly drove to the Tang family manor. Just like last time, he entered the Tang family manor after the guard's notification. But this time, his mood was completely different. Last time, Yu Shaochuan was stopped by the guard and was unhappy. This time, because he was close to breaking off the engagement, he didn't care about these small details. The more he appeared to have nothing to do with the Tang family, the better. Tang Fangbai just wanted to ask Yu Shaochuan something, but he didn't expect Yu Shaochuan to come to him today. Tang Fangbai was old and experienced. Naturally, he knew that if he took the initiative to ask Yu Shaochuan about something, Yu Shaochuan would definitely use it as a reason to break off the engagement to talk to Tang Fangbai. But now, he took the initiative to come. Although Tang Fangbai let him in, he still didn't look enthusiastic. Shaochuan greets Elder Tang. Yu Shaochuan came to the living room and bowed politely as usual. "Well, Shaochuan, I wonder why you're here today. Are you here to bring me a bowl again?" Tang Fangbai smiled and said to Yu Shaochuan. His words directly brought out the question he wanted to ask, and it didn't seem abrupt. "Bowl? What bowl?" "Elder Tang, I'm here to tell you that Xiaochen accepted $5 million from me right in front of Tang Tang. He promised to push Tang Tang down this semester. So, I'm here to figure out when we can break off the engagement. We can't hold up Tang Tang and Xiaochen's good things, right?" Yu Shaochuan said with a smile. He didn't hide the fact that he gave Tang Tang money. Between him and Elder Tang, he couldn't be bothered to pretend. Both of them were sly old foxes. Plus, the fact that he gave Tang Tang money was no secret. Gave him money? "Yu Shaochuan, what are you talking about? What does the money you gave him have to do with me?" Elder Tang waved his hand and said, "Let's not talk about this for now. Let's talk about the bowl you gave me. It looks good, but it seems to come in a pair. Do you have the other one? It's useless for you to give him money, you know what I mean." Elder Tang's meaning was clear. It was useless for Tang Tang to give Xiaochen any benefits. If Tang Tang wanted to break off the engagement, he would have to give him something in return. Otherwise, why would he agree to break off the engagement? Both of them were the reincarnations of thousand-year-old vixens, so there was no need for them to be hypocritical. However, their words were full of hidden meaning. "I bought that bowl. At the time, I remember there was a similar bowl in the shop, but it wasn't broken. I didn't buy it because it was too expensive, so I bought a broken one instead." Yu Shaochuan's heart skipped a beat. What was wrong with Tang Fangbai today? Why did he keep mentioning the broken bowl? Could it be that the broken bowl held some sort of secret? It was true that Tang Fangbai liked antiques. But, it was just a liking. If he had something, he would research it. If not, it didn't matter. He had never shown any special preference for anything. His focus was still on his martial arts. Antiques were just a side issue. But today, he mentioned the bowl twice. Yu Shaochuan didn't believe that Elder Tang would mention it twice because of a broken bowl. Wasn't he just giving himself a loophole? If he got his hands on the bowl, would he agree to break off the engagement? Chapter 186. Yu Shaochuan didn't believe that there was such a good thing in the world. He had spent a lot of effort in the past, but he didn't succeed in breaking off the engagement. If he found a broken bowl for him, he could break off the engagement. Unless the value of the bowl was beyond imagination, so Yu Shaochuan would say so. Otherwise, the bowl was simply in the restaurant. How could there be a second one? Well, if you buy me the other one, then we can talk about breaking off the engagement. After saying this, Tang Fengbai suddenly realized that he was a little too excited. When he heard Yu Shaochuan say that there was another bowl, he was a little impulsive. As a result, he agreed to break off the engagement and blurted it out. Wasn't this making Yu Shaochuan think too much? So he quickly changed his words and said, "Oh, I've been fascinated by antiques recently. It's rare for me to have something I like very much. Anyway, you said that the thing between Tang Tang and Xiao Chen is a done deal, so let's break off the engagement. However, before you break off the engagement, at least you have to do something for me, to give me psychological comfort." "No problem, Grandpa Tang." Yu Shaochuan sneered in his heart. Sure enough, there was a problem. If there was no problem with the bowl, Tang Fengbai wouldn't be so impulsive with his temper. But he pretended that he didn't feel anything and said, "But I don't remember what the bowl looks like. I just bought it casually. I don't know anything about antiques." "Oh, I'll take it out for you to see." Tang Fengbai frowned slightly, but he still turned and left the living room quickly to get the broken bowl. Looking at Tang Fengbai's back, Yu Shaochuan couldn't help but sneer. "Old fox, don't you know that I'm also a little fox?" After a while, Tang Fengbai returned to the living room and carefully walked in with the two broken bowls. Then he said, "It's here. You have a look. If you can find the other bowl, bring it to me. I'll consider what you said. Let me see." Yu Shaochuan picked up the broken bowl and sneered in his heart. Since he was so careful, it must be something important. Moreover, he just said that if he found the other bowl, there would be no problem in breaking off the engagement. Why did he change his words so quickly? Did he change his words to consider? Perhaps he himself had realized that he had spoken out of turn. Yu Shaochuan took the two broken bowls and looked at them carefully. On the bowls, there were some strange words. The words contained a lot of information and were densely packed. If one didn't look at them carefully, they would think they were patterns. In fact, when Yu Shaochuan first saw them, he thought they were patterns. But this time, he took a closer look. This was not a pattern. It must be a text, but Yu Shaochuan didn't recognize this kind of text. So Yu Shaochuan pretended to take out his mobile phone casually and said, "I will take a picture of the bowl and the pattern. I will compare it later." "Take a picture." Tang Fengbai subconsciously wanted to stop him, but he hesitated and said, "Then you take it, but don't show the picture to others. This bowl is quite precious. Don't show your wealth. Don't worry. Who can I show it to? If I find the other bowl, I will delete it." Yu Shaochuan said, "I don't like this thing. It takes up the memory in my mobile phone." As Yu Shaochuan spoke, he took a picture of one of the broken bowls. When he was about to take a picture of the other side, Tang Fengbai took it back and said, "Just take a picture. The other one is about the same. I like this bowl very much. Don't break it." "Okay." Yu Shaochuan was somewhat unwilling, but Tang Fengbai had already said so. If he insisted, then there would be a problem. He could only give up and said, "Then I will pay attention to looking for it for a while." "Oh, hee. Okay, then you help me look for it." Tang Fengbai said, "I have to rest. Come to me if you have any news. There is basically no problem with your matter." "Okay, then I won't disturb Grandpa Tang's rest. Goodbye." Yu Shaochuan knew Tang Fengbai's character. He wouldn't release the eagle until he saw the rabbit. However, he might not be willing to look for the other bowl now. He had to go back and carefully study the words on the bowl. After Yu Shaochuan left, Tang Fengbai couldn't wait to carefully put away the two broken bowls and then took them to his practice room. Yu Shaochuan didn't go back to school in the afternoon. Instead, he drove directly back home. He began to search on the internet. Now that the internet was more developed and convenient, it was relatively easy to find out what words were on the bowl. After searching, Yu Xiaochuan found that the words on the bowl were written in Sanskrit, but it was not the orthodox Sanskrit. It should be a language that evolved from Sanskrit, called Devil's Text. It was mostly used to copy some of the Devil Sect's mantra. The martial artists of the famous sects might not recognize it, but those Devil Sect disciples and evil cultivators might recognize it. It was actually very easy to translate this thing. As long as he posted a Devil's Text translation commission in the Warrior Guild, he could convert the Devil's Text into the corresponding words. Moreover, he didn't need to pay too much. A level 1 mission was enough. However, Yu Xiaochuan wasn't a fool. He didn't copy the words in the order on the bowl. Instead, he messed up the words and extracted one from each word, forming a paragraph that didn't look like anything. This way, even if the translator saw it, they wouldn't know what it meant. After doing all this, Yu Xiaochuan posted a mission commission in the Warrior Guild. The mission points were 50 points. In the afternoon, Xiaochuan received a message from Yi Xiaoya. It was a recommendation for a mission. Xiaochuan opened it and saw that it was actually a mission to gather devil cultivators to help translate Devil's Text. Although the mission was a level 1 mission and only had 50 points, what surprised Xiaochuan was that the person who posted the mission was actually a person called Young Master Kun. Could this person be Yu Xiaochuan? Xiaochuan was puzzled when Yi Xiaoya sent another message. It said, "This mission is very simple. It's Devil's Text translation. If you want to do it, just accept it." After reading it, Xiaochuan suddenly smiled bitterly. It turned out that Yi Xiaoya thought he was a devil cultivator. In fact, he wasn't one at all. How could he know these Devil's Text? Just as he was about to give up, he suddenly thought of the Elder Heaven Ancestor. He quickly asked, "Elder Heaven Ancestor, do you know Devil's Text?" "I know." "Why, Xiaochuan, do you want to accept this 50 points mission?" The Elder Heaven Ancestor's voice had a hint of laziness in it. "The points are too little. It's not worth it. F***ck, I've been buying medicine every day according to the prescriptions you give me. I'm almost broke. Although 50 points isn't much, it's just a small effort. If you translate it for me, it won't consume your soul's divine sense or mind power." Xiaochuan said angrily. "Alright, you accept it. You look at one and I'll translate one by one." The Elder Heaven Ancestor said. "I'm not interested in taking over your body. It's too much of a drain on my divine sense or mind power." Xiaochuan was afraid that someone else would accept this mission, so he quickly accepted it. A notification immediately appeared on the screen. VIP 1 Level 4 member martial artist, White Fox, has successfully accepted a Level 1 martial artist mission from Young Master Kun. In fact, devil cultivators were relatively less active in the Warrior Guild. In these cities, most of the people who could appear were evil cultivators. Disciples of devil cultivators stayed in the Devil Sect and rarely came out. Evil cultivators also didn't dare to openly appear in the Warrior Guild, let alone accept this kind of mission that could expose their identity. Therefore, after Yu Xiaochuan posted the mission, it took a long time before it was accepted by Xiaochuan. This mission wasn't difficult. In just one class, the Elder Heaven Ancestor finished translating all the Devil's Text. Xiaochuan didn't even need to show up. He directly sent the correct answers to the email that Young Master Kun provided. After a while, Xiaochuan's phone notified him that the mission was completed. He received 50 points. It seemed that Young Master Kun was very trustworthy. In fact, the people who posted the mission rarely acted shamelessly after the mission was completed. For members who were able to post missions, no one would act shamelessly. If the Warrior Guild got involved, they would have to deduct points and even demote their level. Hey, these words are a little familiar. This old man tried to fill in the blanks and realized that it's very similar to a mantra I've seen before. The Elder Heaven Ancestor suddenly said. "Fill in the blanks? Mantra?" Xiao Chen realized that ever since the elder heaven ancestor could read his memory, all kinds of new words began to appear. What mantra? Is it powerful? Can I cultivate it? Yes, a warrior's mantra does not conflict with a cultivator's mantra. The elder heaven ancestor said. The two exist independently. That means I can cultivate it? Xiao Chen asked. Yes, if you want to cultivate it, you must first castrate yourself. The elder heaven ancestor said. Pfft. Are you talking about the sunflower treasure? Xiao Chen was stunned. Don't joke around. I'm not joking. This mantra is called the chrysanthemum treasure. The elder heaven ancestor said. Do you want to cultivate it? It won't affect your cultivation even if you castrate yourself. Forget it. Xiao Chen was shocked, and he quickly rejected the idea. Do you want me to tell you? After cultivating it, it will be very awesome. The elder heaven ancestor said with a smile. I don't want to hear it. Shut up. Xiao Chen said. If you dare to talk to your master like this, believe it or not, I will take over your body and control you to cultivate it. The elder heaven ancestor sneered. Master. Please forgive me. I still want to find a few wives and build a new family. Xiao Chen smiled bitterly. I was just joking with you. Look at how scared you are. We also have this mantra, but it is an improved version. Your master had a good friend who helped to improve it. You can succeed without castration. The elder heaven ancestor said. Xiao Chen was speechless. He wiped his sweat and said, then. I can cultivate it? Not yet. Your strength level is too low. You can't cultivate it. The elder heaven ancestor said. All right. Xiao Chen nodded and continued with the lesson. Chapter 187. As for Yu Xiaochuan, after receiving the email from Xiao Chen, he was extremely excited. Word by word, he corresponded and rearranged them one by one. After working on it for the whole afternoon, all the way until the evening, he finally managed to put together a seemingly awesome mantra. Chrysanthemum Treasured Book. This was the #1 incantation of the everyday sect, the heirloom of the sect. However, it had been lost a long time ago, leaving behind only a legend. It was said that after Zhang Naipeo disappeared, this incantation was lost along with him. Yu Xiaochuan didn't think that there would be an incantation carved on a broken bowl. No wonder old Tang was so excited to get his hands on another bowl, so there was such an important secret hidden within. However, what made Yu Xiaochuan unhappy was that there was only half of this incantation. The first half and the second half were still on the other half of old Tang's bowl. Or rather, this was only a quarter of it, and there was another bowl that corresponded to it. The chrysanthemum treasured book was already a mythical existence. Since he was young, Yu Xiaochuan had heard many wuxia stories, and they were the legends of the two incantations, as well as the bloodshed they caused in the martial arts world. Two ordinary youngsters, because of these two incantations, stood at the peak of the martial arts world. One of them was called the Art of Dragon Mastery, and the other was called the Chrysanthemum Treasured Book. There was a saying that Xianyuan would compete with the chrysanthemum. According to legend, these two incantations would appear in the martial arts world at regular intervals, and the peak of martial artists would appear. Yu Xiaochuan excitedly looked at the translated words in front of him. The Chrysanthemum Treasured Book. This was the Chrysanthemum Treasured Book, a legendary existence. Did it really exist in this world? If this broken bowl had fallen into the hands of an ordinary collector, they would never have discovered the secret on it. Or, that day when Lu Zhenming broke it, if Yu Xiaochuan had casually thrown it away, the Chrysanthemum Treasured Book would have been destroyed, but Tang Fengbai had discovered the secret on it. Now, Yu Xiaochuan was sure that Tang Fengbai had definitely discovered it, or else he wouldn't have such an attitude. Should he practice it? This was a difficult decision for Yu Xiaochuan, because the first sentence on the Chrysanthemum Treasured Book was, to practice this skill, one must first castrate oneself. Yu Xiaochuan didn't want to become a eunuch, otherwise, how could he get engaged with that girl from a foreign family? Furthermore, it was still unknown whether this mantra was real or not. If he castrated himself, he would not be able to cultivate it at all. That would be stupid. Therefore, Yu Shaochuan took a deep breath and placed the mantra under the drawer. He locked it up carefully. Even if he didn't cultivate it himself, he definitely couldn't let anyone else know about it. But Yu Shaochuan was worried that Tang had already practiced it. One had to be Tang. Tang was Tang, Tang 1, and FYI Fong. Tang, Tang, F, 1, 1, and 1, Tang, Tang, and F. Shaking his head, he suppressed these thoughts for the time being. Yu Shaochuan was a normal person. Usually, he also had desires. He would play with a small star or a young model. However, this was all done secretly, and he would not let others know. After school, Shaochen sent a text message to Qing Menjing, telling her that Qin Jinpeng and Qin Jingxian were going to treat her to dinner tonight, and asking if she wanted to go. Qing Menjing had nothing to do, and Qin Jingxian was here. Of course, she agreed immediately. It was the most luxurious hotel near Songning No. 2 Middle School. Jean Bebe drove her golden Panamera. When they arrived at the hotel, Qin Jingxian, Qin Jinpeng, and Chao Yuliang had already arrived. Qin Jinpeng and Chao Yuliang were waiting for Xiao Chen. Qin Jingxian was sitting in the car. When she saw Qing Menjing, she also got out of the car. Of course, Chao Yuliang was actually waiting for Qing Menjing. He was just showing respect to Xiao Chen. After all, he was making use of him. Wow, this car is so beautiful. Jean Bebe parked the car next to Qin Jinpeng's BMW X5. After getting out of the car, she walked around Qin Jinpeng's BMW X5. I've wanted to buy a BMW for a long time, but I don't have the money. Oh. Qin Jinpeng did not dare to answer. If he said something wrong, the car would not be his anymore. It was not impossible, but very likely. What are you talking about? Bebe wants to buy an X5. Haven't you heard that every woman has a BMW in her heart? Jean Bebe said. I don't want to change my car. Don't exchange it with me. If you like it, you can buy one yourself. It's not expensive, just over 1 million. Qin Jinpeng said in a hurry. But this car is mine. Jean Bebe suddenly pointed at Qin Jinpeng's BMW and said. Quack. Qin Jinpeng's face immediately turned green. He almost fell to the ground. Jean Bebe. Don't make fun of me. This joke is not funny at all. I bought this car with my own money, but this car is really mine, isn't it, cousin-in-law? Jean Bebe turned around and looked at Xiao Chen. Yes, Bebe also had a BMW that looked exactly the same, but it was stolen later. Xiao Chen also followed Jean Bebe's words. He did not know how Jean Bebe was going to trick Qin Jinpeng again. However, Xiao Chen naturally sided with Jean Bebe. He also hated Qin Jinpeng very much. He was happy to see Qin Jinpeng's misfortune. You. Qin Jinpeng was extremely angry. Jingxian, Menjing, Brother Liang, you are all here. Testify for me, whose car is it? I will show you the vehicle license. As he spoke, Qin Jinpeng took out a vehicle license from the car. He flipped it open and handed it to Jean Bebe. He said, Jean Bebe, look. This is not your car. I really bought it. This time, Qin Jinpeng had learned his lesson. The car was not under the name of the Qin family's company but under his name, Qin Jinpeng. In such a way, no matter how unreasonable Jean Bebe was, it was impossible for her to falsely accuse him, was it? He also believed that with so many people present, Jean Bebe wouldn't act shamelessly in order to steal his driving permit. Shoot! After taking over the vehicle license, Jean Bebe immediately bulged her eyes in disbelief. She was scared out of her wits, too. She had only been playing a trick on Qin Jinpeng in the first place. She did not expect to get his car. However stupid Qin Jinpeng was, he would not be fooled for the third time in a row. Therefore, Jean Bebe did not think that she could succeed at all. But right now, Jean Bebe's name was written on the vehicle license. Right? It's not your car, is it? Jean Bebe's expression confused Chen Jinpeng, too. She did not seem to be faking it. Was it possible that Jean Bebe had lost a car that was exactly the same as hers and was surprised to see that the vehicle was not hers? What was going on? Jean Bebe rubbed her eyes. Was she hallucinating? However, when she looked at it carefully, she discovered that it was still Jean Bebe instead of Chen Jinpeng. Chen Jinpeng sneered in his heart. No matter how hard you rub your eyes, it's still my name. There can't be any mistake. A shed? This car is really mine. Why did you steal my car again? I have to tell Grandpa that you are a thief. You stole my car again and again. You are so bad. Jean Bebe pointed at Chen Jinpeng and yelled angrily. She did not care why Jean Bebe's name was written on the vehicle license, but it was obviously a great opportunity. How could Jean Bebe let it go? What? Chen Jinpeng was immediately dumbfounded. How could she continue to lie like that? He snatched the driver's license from Jean Bebe's hand and gave it to Qing Menjing, who was next to him. Qing Menjing, you are the fairest. Tell me, whose car is it? The owner of this car is Jean Bebe? Qing Menjing bulged her eyes, too, in disbelief. Did she not know whether or not Jean Bebe owned a BMW? Obviously, she did not, but the car was written in Jean Bebe's name. That was truly uncanny. What? Chen Jinpeng was driven mad, too. Qing Menjing had been corrupted. She must have been influenced by Jean Bebe. Hee. I don't believe her anymore. Let Shen Jingxian take a look. Therefore, he said, Jingxian, take a look. Whose name is written on the license? Okay. Shen Jingxian nodded and took the vehicle registration from Qing Menjing's hand. She glanced at it, and her expression became a little strange. Jingxian, tell me, whose car is it? Seeing that Shen Jingxian was silent, Chen Jinpeng was a little anxious. Jinpeng, although I am your fiancé, I have never despised you for not having a car. The most important thing for a person is to be honest. If you don't have a car, don't steal someone else's car. That's not good. Shen Jingxian said. Her words were still pleasant, but Shen Jinpeng seemed to have fallen into an ice house. What? Jingxian, this car is mine. Why are you defending them? Chen Jinpeng was anxious. He looked at Shen Jingxian in confusion. All right, stop arguing. What's going on? Jinpeng, where did you get this car? Let me take a look. Chao Yuliang found that something was wrong, too. If Jean Bebe said that the car was hers, it might be nonsense. But now that both Qing Menjing and Shen Jingxian said so, something must be wrong. He wondered what Chen Jinpeng was arguing about. He took the license from Shen Jingxian. After a quick look at it, his face turned gloomy. Chen Jinpeng is such an incompetent guy. This car obviously belongs to Jean Bebe. How dare he show the license? Isn't he asking for a beating? Unless one was blind and could not read the words on the license, who could not recognize Jean Bebe's name? In Chao Yuliang's opinion, the car must have been stolen by Chen Jinpeng to take revenge on Jean Bebe. Also, he drove it to Chao Yuliang today to annoy Jean Bebe on purpose. Maybe, he had made a fake license with his own name on it. But he took the wrong one out of anxiety and took it as the real one. Chapter 188. Of course, Chao Yuliang had never suspected that the license was fake. Chen Jinpeng would not have applied for a fake license in Jean Bebe's name for no reason. You stole it just because you said you stole it. Why don't you just go home and drive it yourself? Why are you showing off? Chao Yuliang was so angry that he threw the license at Chen Jinpeng's face. Look at it yourself. Don't do such a shameful thing next time. Why don't you return the car to her? What? Chen Jinpeng was dumbfounded. He picked up the license from the ground and was dumbfounded after only one look. What? It was really Jean Bebe's name on it? How was it possible? Had it been swapped by Jean Bebe just now? That was impossible. He was afraid that Jean Bebe would throw away or tear the license. He had been watching Jean Bebe all the time. Besides, Jean Bebe was not a prophet. It was impossible for her to have prepared a fake license in advance. She did not know that he would drive the car tonight, nor could she have foreseen that he would invite them to dinner at the last minute. How was it possible? Could it be that he had been a little muddle-headed recently and had accidentally used Jean Bebe's name when he registered the car's registration? It was quite possible on second thought. He was truly an idiot. It could not be helped. Qin Jinping could not defend himself. He was the one who provided the license, and Jean Bebe's name was on it. What could he do? Although he was reluctant, he still gave the car key back to Jean Bebe. "I'm giving it back to you. I was just kidding. If I really wanted to steal your car, would I have driven it here? You're right. I'll forgive you. I won't tell my grandpa," Jean Bebe said. Hearing this, Qin Jinping's anger rose, but he couldn't vent it. He could only spit on the ground. "Thank you for being a great person and forgiving me for my wrongdoings, Jinping. That's not right. You can't spit on the ground. It's uncivilized. You have to clean it." Shen Jingxian frowned. "Wipe, wipe, wipe." Qin Jinping lifted his foot and used the sole of his shoe to wipe away the phlegm. "All right, everyone, let's go up. It's almost time, let's go eat," Qiao Yuliang said, temporarily putting the matter behind him. When she went upstairs, Jean Bebe couldn't help but open the registration certificate of the BMW out of curiosity. However, she almost cried out when she saw it. Luckily, Jean Bebe had a good mentality, because she saw the name of the owner on the registration certificate changed to Qin Jinping again. What was going on? If she was mistaken, then what about Qing Menjing, Shen Jingxian, Qiao Yuliang, and even Qin Jinping himself? That was impossible. Moreover, she had rubbed her eyes and looked at it several times, but the result was the same. Therefore, Jean Bebe was really a little surprised. She walked 2 steps slower and landed next to Xiao Qin, who was walking at the back. She said, "Cousin-in-law, did you perform magic again just now?" "Yes." Xiao Qin replied indifferently. He had indeed set up an illusion just now and changed the name of Qin Jinping's registration certificate to Jean Bebe. It was a very easy thing for Xiao Qin. "Holy sh*t, cousin-in-law, you are so awesome. Is your family artificial?" Jean Bebe was extremely shocked. "Isn't it too amazing?" Although the magic tricks on TV were also very awesome, most of them were so realistic with special props and lighting effects. However, Xiao Qin did not use any of them. He did not even touch the registration certificate and completed the whole process of magic. Jean Bebe felt that it was really unbelievable. If Xiao Qin performed close-range magic, would he become a big star? She shook her head and said, "Your family definitely doesn't know. If they knew, they wouldn't have driven you out of the house. It's nothing. It's just some small tricks." Xiao Qin smiled bitterly in his heart. He did not know these things when he was driven out of the house. When they came to the private room, Jean Bebe rushed to order the dishes. Although Qiao Yuliang and Qin Jinping felt that they might be cheated, they did not care about the small amount of money since they had already said that they would treat them. "What about my appearance fee?" Xiao Qin sat down in an ostentatious manner and asked Qin Jinping. "Appearance fee?" Qin Jinping turned to look at Qiao Yuliang. He had told Qiao Yuliang before, and Qiao Yuliang said that he would prepare it. "Xiao Qin, I'll give you the appearance fee next time. This time, I came directly from the school and did not bring any money," Qiao Yuliang said with a smile. "Oh, then let's eat next time." Xiao Qin turned to the waiter who was ordering the dishes for Jean Bebe and said, "Waiter, take away all the dishes we ordered later." "Hey! Wait! Qiao Yuliang cursed Xiao Chen in his heart. How could he be so shameless after being driven out of the family? He was simply invincible. In the past, Xiao Chen would not have done such a shameful thing. However, when he thought about it, people were forced to be like this. Xiao Chen had been running around for money every day and even went to the morning market to fry fried dough sticks. It was understandable that he had become a bit unscrupulous. What do you want? Xiao Chen asked. Qiao Yuliang took a deep breath and said, I haven't finished yet. What I mean is, if you really want it this time, I can transfer the money to you. I want it. You can transfer it, Xiao Chen said. Okay, I'll transfer it now. Qiao Yuliang saw how shameless Xiao Chen was. He had no choice but to pick up his phone and prepare to transfer the money. How much? Qiao Yuliang asked. How about 150,000 again? Qiao Yuliang asked. 150,000 is too little. That was my price in the past. Everyone's value has risen. Xiao Chen said, Waiter, continue to take away food. 200,000. Qiao Yuliang clenched his teeth and said. Bebe, don't order soup. It's not easy to take away food. Xiao Chen pretended not to hear him. 300,000. That's a sky-high price. Qiao Yuliang said angrily. Bebe, there's no need to take away food. Let's eat here, Xiao Chen said. F*CKU. Qiao Yuliang cursed in his heart. Before Xiao Chen was kicked out of the Xiao family, the confrontation between the two of them was basically a tie. Sometimes, Xiao Chen was even at a disadvantage. This F*King Xiao Chen was kicked out of the Xiao family, and I was defeated again and again. What F*King reason is this? Xiao Chen's phone received a text message that 300,000 had been transferred to his account. Today, he had received a total of 5,300,000, plus 50 points. He didn't know if he would be scammed when he went to buy medicine at night. Menjing, I'm going to organize a camping trip to the beach this weekend. What do you think? You and Xiao Chen have both transferred from number 1 middle school. We're old classmates. We can get together often. It won't be strange. Qiao Yuliang waited for the waiter to leave before he spoke. The beach? Great. I like going there. Qiao Yuliang, help me catch a shark. I want to eat grilled shark meat. I saw grilled shark meat on TV. It's delicious. Jean Bebe said, Cousin Menjing loves eating shark the most. Sharks. The area we're going to is safe. There are no sharks. Qiao Yuliang calculated in his heart. Could he kill a shark with his real strength? But even if he could, it was not worth it to expose his strength to please Qing Menjing. Besides, it was very likely that he would not please Qing Menjing but Jean Bebe. However, with the support of the Qin family's resources, Qin Jinpeng had become a martial artist at the peak of level 2 inner force. It was not impossible for Qin Jinpeng to take action, but should he go to another area with sharks? But after that, he would have to adjust his plan to kill Xiao Chen. If there were sharks, how could he let Xiao Chen go into the sea? Xiao Chen probably wouldn't go into the sea easily, would he? Then let's go to another area with sharks. Jean Bebe said. Well, I'll go back and think about it. You know that it's too dangerous if there are sharks. We can't go into the sea, Qiao Yuliang said. Who will go into the sea in such a weather? Won't they freeze to death if it's so cold? Jean Bebe said, I'll go if you decide to go, and I won't go if you don't want to. I'm planning to go shopping with Cousin Menjing this weekend. It's been a long time since I went shopping. Qiao Yuliang was so angry that he almost said, if you don't want to go, then don't go. Who is willing to take you? You are so troublesome, and you like to trick people. Do you think people like you because you have big breasts? It would be better if she didn't go. But he did not dare to say it. Didn't you hear what Jean Bebe said? If she didn't go and went shopping with Qing Menjing on the weekends, it meant that if she didn't go, Qing Menjing wouldn't be able to go either. She was a little naughty girl who could trick people as much as she wanted. Then I'll go back and look for her. Qiao Yuliang had no choice but to agree. Although the main purpose of the camping trip was to kill Xiao Qin, and the date with Qing Menjing was secondary, if both Qing Menjing and Jin Beibei did not go, would Xiao Qin go out with them alone? There was no need to think about it to know that it was impossible. It seemed that he could only satisfy Jin Beibei first and then figure out a way to kill Xiao Qin. Jin Beibei nodded and said, "Then I'll think about it. I won't go shopping. Let's go eat shark meat." Haha. Okay. Qiao Yuliang laughed in frustration. While they were talking, the dishes were served one after another. Jin Beibei and Xiao Qin began to gorge on the food. "Cousin-in-law, this is delicious." "Okay. You should have some, too." "This is delicious, too." "Yes, yes." "The crab is delicious." "Yes, yes." "The abalone is delicious." Qiao Yuliang and Qin Jinpeng were both rendered speechless. Had Xiao Qin been infected by Jin Beibei? On second thought, it was indeed the case. Both of them scammed each other. Their usual style was similar to Jin Beibei's. Were they dating? Qing Menjing looked at Jin Beibei and Xiao Qin and simply ignored them. Qing Menjing was basically used to the two of them. After everything was settled, Qiao Yuliang was no longer in the mood to eat, especially when he was faced with Xiao Qin, the glutton who had extorted 300,000 from him. Qin Jinpeng was even more so. His heart ached when he saw Jin Beibei. A car. A BMW. Gone again. Qin Jinpeng had secretly made up his mind that he would never buy a luxury car again. If he didn't buy one, he would be cheated by Jin Beibei. If he hadn't been sure that he bought the BMW X5 with his own money, he would have thought that the car really belonged to Jin Beibei. Chapter 189. Although he did not know what methods Jin Beibei had employed, he felt that he could not afford to be tricked by her again. Therefore, Qin Jinpeng planned to buy a second-hand minivan the next day. During the meal, he almost watched Xiao Qin and Jin Beibei eat while Shen Jingxian and Qing Menjing whispered to each other. Qiao Yuliang could not get a word in edgewise at all. He had indeed treated them for nothing. However, he comforted himself in his heart that everything would be fine as long as Xiao Qin was dead. Without Xiao Qin, Jin Beibei would not have the appetite to eat anymore. As for Shen Jingxian, he had to ask Qin Jinpeng to work harder and take down Shen Jingxian as soon as possible. Otherwise, if Shen Jingxian kept talking to Qing Menjing, he would not be able to talk to her. "Menjing, how are you doing in the No. 2 middle school?" Qiao Yuliang finally saw that Shen Jingxian was drinking soup and asked in a hurry, "It's fine. My family hasn't mentioned it yet. Fortunately, there isn't any in my house. I don't want to get engaged for the time being. Xiao Qin is already annoying enough. Let's talk about it later." Qing Menjing showed enough hatred for Xiao Qin. She remembered that Qiao Yuliang tried to kill Xiao Qin last time. In her eyes, as long as she pretended that she had nothing to do with Xiao Qin and hated Xiao Qin, Qiao Yuliang would not lay a finger on Xiao Qin anymore. Of course, what she did not know was that it was somebody else who wanted Xiao Qin dead. After the meal, Qiao Yuliang paid the bill with his card, and Xiao Qin and Jin Beibei packed a lot of delicious food. Of the two cars, Jin Beibei was still driving her Panamera, and Xiao Qin was driving the BMW X5 that he had scammed. Qin Jinpeng did not have a car, so he and Shen Jingxian got into Qiao Yuliang's Audi A6L. "Beibei, not that I want to criticize you, but why do you look like a hungry ghost?" "Xiao Qin is, and so are you." After Qing Menjing got into the car, she scolded Jin Beibei mercilessly, "Girls should be quiet. Otherwise, who would dare to marry you in the future? I think my cousin-in-law is not bad, and he does not despise me. Cousin Menjing, why don't you do me a favor and ask my cousin-in-law to marry me in the future?" Jin Beibei said, not caring at all. "What does it have to do with me? Cheng Menjing snorted. Aren't you my cousin? He is my cousin-in-law. Jean Bebe said. That was in the past. Not now. He is just my servant. Cheng Menjing said. Even a servant has to listen to you. Jean Bebe said. Then you must behave well. Otherwise, I won't let him marry you, and nobody will want you. Cheng Menjing snorted. Okay, okay. Jean Bebe nodded. Then I will continue to eat like this next time. Whatever. Cheng Menjing shook her head. Naturally, she did not take Jean Bebe's words seriously. Although old Master Jean had such intentions, Jean Bebe and Xiaochen seemed to be pure friends. At this moment, Cheng Menjing's phone rang. She glanced at it and found that it was Xiaochen who asked her to go back first. He was going to the pharmacy to buy herbs. Xiaochen drove the car to the entrance of the pharmacy. He stopped the car and walked in casually. Hong Yan was still reading a book. However, Xiaochen was obviously stunned by her outfit today. Isn't this girl quite conservative? Why is she wearing such a sexy outfit today? It was not because Hong Yan was wearing revealing clothes. In fact, she was not. It was just that her clothes outlined her beautiful figure perfectly. It was hard for anyone to look away when they saw her. Has Hong Yan changed her sex? Well, I'm here to buy medicine again. Can you help me call Grandpa Chen? Xiaochen walked into the pharmacy and coughed. He tried not to look at Hong Yan, in case he felt awkward. Grandpa Chen? Hong Yan was slightly stunned. She seemed to have thought of something. She walked out from behind the counter and smiled at Xiaochen. With a fragrant breeze, she said, Grandpa Chen is not here today. He is out. Little handsome, what can I do for you? It's the same if you tell me. The girl's scent was very pleasant. Xiaochen turned his head away in embarrassment. However, he could not help but fix his eyes on Hong Yan. It was not until he could no longer see her that he returned to normal. However, Xiaochen's heart was beating very fast. It seemed that Hong Yan's ordinary words were full of infinite temptation and fascinated Xiaochen. The feeling of his heart beating was the same as when he met Shen Jingxian for the first time. However, Xiaochen was still young at that time. His mind was not very mature. It was understandable that he was fascinated by Shen Jingxian. However, the current Xiaochen was not the same as before, whether it was his mind or willpower. He was puzzled that he still had this feeling of being moved. I'm here to buy medicinal herbs. You know my prescription. Grandpa Chen is not here. It's the same if you give it to me. Ahem. Xiaochen coughed twice. He was very puzzled. Could it be that Grandpa Chen was not here, so Hong Yan became bold? Was she always this kind of girl on the inside? Although Xiaochen did not want to say too much to Hong Yan, last night was the last time the medicinal herbs were decocted. Today, they had to be replaced. Therefore, Xiaochen had no choice but to buy it. God knows if Hong Yan was deliberately messing with him and then took the opportunity to cheat him. Little sister forgot the prescription. Say it again, handsome. Hong Yan smiled at Xiaochen and said in a sweet voice, there are so many people buying medicine every day. How can little sister remember it clearly? Hong Yan's every frown and smile seemed to have endless magic. Xiaochen was almost unable to extricate himself. But fortunately, a cultivator's powerful divine sense and mental strength made him calm his mind quickly. No, this person doesn't seem to be Hong Yan. Xiaochen's head moved slightly. The real Hong Yan had seen his prescription. Moreover, his prescription was so strange. How could she forget it? Even if there were so many people buying medicine, she should have an impression. Could it be that this little girl in front of him was an evil cultivator? She ate the real Hong Yan and Grandpa Chen and turned into Hong Yan to cause trouble here? When this thought came out, Xiaochen himself was scared. Why was it similar to the story of Grandmother Wolf that he heard when he was young? But he had just fought with the evil cultivator a few days ago. He knew the evil and strange ability of the evil cultivator. And this Hong Yan, in front of him, was exuding an indescribable magic that attracted him. So, Xiaochen suddenly shouted at her, "You're not from here. Who are you?" As he said that, Xiaochen suddenly took a few steps back. His whole body became alert. He secretly operated the mantra, afraid that this evil girl in front of him would suddenly launch an attack. Boring, not fun. The woman covered her mouth and laughed. Her laughter was like that of a flower's branches trembling. She was extremely flirtatious. She rolled her eyes at Xiaochen and said, "You're quite familiar with my sister." "I'm not Hong Yan. My name is Hongzhu." "Hongzhu?" Xiaochen was slightly startled. So it really wasn't Hong Yan. But Xiaochen still didn't believe her. "What evidence do you have to prove that you're Hong Yan's sister? Don't tell me you ate Hong Yan and turned into her? Little handsome, you're really interesting. How can there be so many monsters in this world? Have you read too many fairy tales?" When Hongzhu heard Xiaochen's words, he immediately laughed happily. "I look so much like Hong Yan that even you mistook me for someone else. Naturally, we're twins. If you don't believe me, then forget it. She'll be back tomorrow." "Alright, I believe you." Xiaochen really needed to buy medicine today. Moreover, this Hongzhu didn't seem to have any intention of harming him. He just liked to joke around. So, Xiaochen told him about his prescription. You're that pervert who looked at Jean Pingmei?" When Hongzhu heard the prescription, he looked at Xiaochen in surprise. Cough cough, when did I look at Jean Pingmei? And I'm not a pervert either. Xiaochen smiled bitterly and blushed. From Hongzhu's tone, it seemed that Hong Yan had told him about it. With this, Xiaochen no longer doubted that she was a monster in disguise. "I'm just joking with you. My little sister has read Jean Pingmei before. She thinks that romance novels are all about Jean Pingmei. In our family's library, there are only such classical romance novels and no modern romance novels. So, she thinks that you're a pervert." "How interesting," Hongzhu said as he looked Xiaochen up and down. "So it's like that. I'm really wronged." Xiaochen finally understood why Hong Yan hated him so much. It turned out that she thought he was a pervert. He was really unlucky to be misunderstood when he recommended a romance novel. However, being sized up by Hongzhu, Xiaochen suddenly felt a little embarrassed. He couldn't help but feel his heartbeat quicken, and that feeling of attraction once again rose in his heart. "Hongzhu, don't joke around. My herbs." Xiaochen felt that he couldn't stay here any longer. There was definitely something strange about this Hongzhu. The longer he stayed here, the more intense that feeling of attraction became. "Fine, since you don't want to talk to me, then let's do business." Hongzhu suddenly withdrew his smile, and his expression turned solemn. He picked up the abacus on the counter, made some calculations, and then said to Xiaochen, "A total of 3,300,000. Pfft. Xiaochen jumped in fright. Does he know how much money I have on me? "What, you think it's too expensive?" Hongzhu said with a serious face, "Don't you want to buy herbs? This is the price. Can it be a little cheaper?" Xiaochen hadn't even warmed his 3,300,000 yet, and he was already going to spend it. How could he not feel distressed? Of course not. The goods are genuine and the prices are clearly marked. We don't cheat children and old people. Hongzhu's solemn face suddenly smiled sweetly at Xiaochen, instantly becoming very beautiful. There were 2 small dimples on her beautiful cheeks. In reality, she was a black-hearted female boss. Xiaochen hurriedly avoided her smile and coughed twice, trying to get rid of the fragrance in front of him. He smiled bitterly and said, "In the past, when I came here to buy herbs, I always got a discount. Boss Hongzhu, can you give me a discount? What's in it for me?" Hongzhu blinked her beautiful big eyes and asked back at Xiaochen with a faint smile. "What do you want?" Xiao Chen asked somewhat helplessly. Chapter 190. Accompany me to eat, drink, and sleep. Hongzhu paused for a moment. Then you have to give me money. When Xiao Chen heard Hongzhu's previous words, he was startled. When he heard Hongzhu's last words, black lines suddenly appeared on his forehead. Don't trick me, then accompany me to chat. If you chat with me, I'll give you a discount, okay? Hongzhu said. Okay, what do you want to talk about? In order to save money, Xiao Chen clenched his teeth and agreed. Anything is fine. What do you do? Hongzhu asked. I'm a student. Xiao Chen said. You're a student? Then tell me about your school life. After Hongzhu heard this, his eyes flashed with excitement. Okay. Xiao Chen nodded and casually told Hongzhu about some of the things that happened in the school, such as sports day, art festival, basketball match, classes, lunch break, outing. While Xiao Chen was talking, Hongzhu was like a curious baby, always wanting to know why. Xiao Chen still had to explain to her for a long time. It gave Xiao Chen the feeling that Hongzhu seemed to have run out from the depths of the mountains and forests. How could he not know anything? Finally, after he finished talking about the things that happened in the school, Xiao Chen looked at the time. It was already midnight. He had to go back and boil the medicine. So he said, We've talked so much, can you give me a discount now? Oh, let me check the time. Hongzhu took out a pocket watch, glanced at it, and said, You've chatted with me for 4.5 hours. I'll give you 10,000 for an hour. I'll round it up and give you 50,000, so I'll charge you 5,250,000. Xiao Chen almost vomited blood when he heard that. He had just blabbered so much that his mouth was parched and his throat was cramping. Yet, he only got a 50,000 yuan discount. This was too little. What's wrong, little handsome boy? Did I give you a big discount? Are you surprised? Hongzhu smilingly looked at Xiao Chen, her eyes curved into the shape of crescent moons, making her look like a little kitten. She moved her face slightly closer to Xiao Chen, the fragrance of her hair causing Xiao Chen to feel infatuated and intoxicated. Xiao Chen subconsciously wanted to say that the discount was huge and that he was very satisfied. However, he was a cultivator with a strong mind after all. He coughed twice and said, In the past, Grandpa Chen and your sister Hong Yan always gave me a huge discount. The last time I bought it, I only spent a little more than 2 million. Last time was a loss. This time, it's going to be the original price. Hongzhu chuckled lightly. We can't always lose money when doing business, don't you think so, little handsome? That's still a bit expensive. I'm going to die of poverty. Xiao Chen smiled bitterly. You see, I'm just a poor student, poor as hell. Why would a poor student buy this kind of medicine? You're a disciple of the demon sect, right? Which sect are you from? Hongzhu suddenly asked. Xiao Chen's complexion slightly changed. He never thought that Hongzhu would suddenly ask such a question. The only one who knew of Xiao Chen's true colors and the fact that Xiao Chen had the strength to be a devil cultivator, was probably Hongzhu. This caused Xiao Chen's heart to immediately become vigilant, and his killing intent rose slightly. Don't be nervous, little handsome boy. Do you want to kill this little sister to silence her? Hongzhu covered his mouth and smiled, seemingly not the least bit afraid. How is that possible? Xiao Chen took a deep breath. In that instant just now, it was as if he had been possessed. The previous Xiao Chen did not have such a violent temperament, and it was impossible for him to want to kill people at the slightest provocation. Even if it was an enemy, Xiao Chen would not act like this. However, it seemed that ever since he had become a cultivator, Xiao Chen's temperament had become a little irritable. Moreover, just now, the demonic energy that had been suppressed in his body had also begun to stir. In the past, Xiao Chen only felt hatred towards himself and killing enemies that touched his bottom line. But now, he had inexplicably developed such thoughts towards Hongzhu, causing Xiao Chen to be somewhat surprised. If you answer this little sister's question, I'll give you a discount, okay? If you answer one question, I'll give you a 10% discount, Hongzhu said with a beaming smile. What do you want to ask? Xiao Chen took a deep breath. You're a devil cultivator, right? Hongzhu pursed his lips, blinking as he asked. How did you know? Xiao Chen did not answer, but instead asked a question of his own. Boring, you're not sincere. This little sister doesn't want to play with you anymore, Hongzhu pouted, stretched out his hand, and said, Give me the money, I'll give you the medicine. How about you change your question? Xiao Chen watched the discount slip away from his eyes, feeling somewhat unwilling. Fine, what are you buying these medicinal ingredients for? Hongzhu looked at Xiao Chen with a smile that was not a smile. According to this little sister's knowledge, some of these medicinal ingredients are only used by devil cultivators, although I don't understand what your prescription is for. Can I strengthen my yang? Xiao Chen smiled bitterly in his heart. Wasn't this the same F*** question as before? You? Hongzhu glanced at Xiao Chen. Do you need to strengthen your yang to practice the virgin boy technique? Pfft. Xiao Chen did not know how Hongzhu saw through his inexperience, but this blatant teasing was still somewhat unbearable for Xiao Chen. This little devil girl was really hard to deal with. I'm making preparations for the future. Then continue with your preparations. Give me the money, I'm going to close the door, Hongzhu said, stretching out his hand. Aren't you guys open 24 hours a day? Xiao Chen asked. That's usually the case. This little sister is only on duty, so I can close the door whenever I want, Hongzhu said as if it was a matter of course. Then can I change the question? Xiao Chen asked helplessly. Where is your sect? Hongzhu asked. Xiao Chen took a deep breath and said, No need for a discount. I'll give you the money. Swipe my card. As he spoke, Xiao Chen took out his bank card and slapped it on the counter behind Hongzhu. Didn't I say you were a nouveau riche? You're so rich yet you're still teasing this little sister. Then I won't give you a discount of 50,000, I'll just charge you 3 million. Hongzhu picked up Xiao Chen's card and was about to swipe it. The 50,000 from before was for chatting with me, not a discount. Xiao Chen shouted himself hoarse. Fine, even a nouveau riche has his stingy moments. Hongzhu had just learned the word nouveau riche from Xiao Chen, so he used it on Xiao Chen himself. After swiping his card, Xiao Chen held the medicinal ingredients that he had bought at such a high price and wanted to cry. In the blink of an eye, only 50,000 was left in his bank card. This was really a scam. Hee, I'm really too much of a genius. Grandpa Chen told me to only sell him 3 million this time, so I cheated him of an extra 2,250,000, ha. After Xiao Chen left, Hongzhu beamed with joy. This money is mine now. Although Xiao Chen had left, his six senses were still present. He had been somewhat suspicious of Hongzhu's identity from the start. He did not know that Hong Yan was called Hong Yan before, but Hong Yan addressed Grandpa Chen as Grandpa. In that case, Hong Yan's surname was not Chen, but Hong Yan's surname was Hong, and Hongzhu's surname was the same. He suspected that Hongzhu was lying. However, when Xiao Chen heard Hongzhu's final words, he nearly tripped and fell to the ground. This little girl is really bad, she cheated me to death. It was always Xiao Chen who cheated others, but this time, he had fallen into the hands of this little magical girl, causing Xiao Chen to feel extremely displeased. However, Hongzhu's words made Xiao Chen feel relieved. It seemed that this Hongzhu really was related to Hong Yan and Grandpa Chen. In that case, they might not be related by blood, but they were still elders of the same family. After relaxing, Xiao Chen quickly rushed back home. He had to quickly boil the medicine, otherwise there would not be enough time. After Hongzhu finished laughing, the smile in his eyes suddenly disappeared, and a playful smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. No wonder that guy died at your hands. You're really something. However, you still have to give me an explanation, don't you? Naturally, Xiao Chen could not hear the rest of Hongzhu's words. After returning home, he turned on the electric clay pot, set the time for the medicine to boil, and then sat to the side, picking up his phone and browsing through the tasks. Did you accept that task? What does he want to translate? As soon as Xiao Chen went online, he saw Yi Xiaoya's message. A bunch of strange words. Xiao Chen directly sent the things that young Master Qian wanted him to translate to Yi Xiaoya. After a while, Yi Bia replied, "What are you doing not sleeping in the middle of the night?" "I've turned off my phone." Xiao Chen was a little speechless. Was it wrong for me to reply to her immediately? Shaking his head, Xiao Chen put down his phone and started cultivating. After Chao Yuliang sent Shen Jingxian home, he brought Qin Jinpeng to a private club and entered a private room. However, the two of them did not call for anyone. Instead, they only ordered some fruit plates and beer. "Brother Liang, Xiao Chen has Jean Bebe messing around. It's not easy to deal with him. If we change our destination and go to the shark-infested area, Xiao Chen will not go into the water no matter how stupid he is. How can we drown him?" Qin Jinpeng could not help but say, "Why don't we kill Jean Bebe as well?" Kill my A**s. It's not a big deal to kill Xiao Chen, but how many heads do you have to kill Jean Bebe? Won't Master Jean kill you? Chao Yuliang glared at him. But we did it secretly. Master Jean has no proof that we did it. Qin Jinpeng hated Jean Bebe to death. He had been tricked by her 3 times. Do you think golden-haired Lion King needs proof? Will he talk to you about proof? Chao Yuliang frowned and said casually, "Intelligence." Well, that's true. Recalling the dominance and unreasonableness of golden-haired Lion King, Qin Jinpeng immediately shut his mouth. If Jean Bebe was really dead and golden-haired Lion King killed him unreasonably, there would be nothing he could do. All right. Now that everything has come to this, let's find another way to kill Xiao Chen. Chao Yuliang waved his hands, hinting for Qin Jinpeng to think of a more reliable solution. Why don't we ask him to catch sharks? Qin Jinpeng thought for a moment and suggested. Can he go? Chao Yuliang glanced at Qin Jinpeng. Do you really think Xiao Chen is an idiot? If it were Xiao Chen in the old days, he might have gone after you goaded him a little. But right now, Xiao Chen is a complete scoundrel. Just like Jean Bebe, he only cares about money but not about shame. Qin Jinpeng thought for a moment and said, then, should we pay him and ask him to go? Chapter 191. Give him money? How much money can he give? Oh, you don't say, this is a smart move. Chao Yuliang's eyes suddenly lit up. I don't believe that he won't catch a shark if we give him 500,000. Huh, then we will create an accident and let him fall into the sea and be eaten by the sharks. Qin Jinpeng saw that Chao Yuliang accepted his suggestion, and he was very happy. We will do something on the fishing boat. You go and arrange it. Chao Yuliang nodded. But don't make it too obvious. I understand. Qin Jinpeng sneered. At that time, if Xiao Chen were to fall into the sea, he would definitely die. Forget about Xiao Chen, an ordinary person who had not even reached the first stage of inner force. Even if it was him, Qin Jinpeng, who fell into the sea, he would definitely die and become a meal for the sharks. Although martial artists were strong on land, that was only limited to land. On the fishing boat, Qin Jinpeng could control the fishing gun to hunt sharks alone. He could easily do something that several fishermen could do. However, in the sea, it was not enough. Even if he could exert the strength of stage 2 inner force, he would still need to be able to hit the sharks. However, what if Xiao Chen refuses to go? Won't you still have to hunt the sharks with us? Don't let us both fall into the sea. Qin Jinpeng suddenly thought of a serious problem. Or, what if Qing Menjing also goes hunting with Xiao Chen? Just like the last time when they raced? Chao Yuliang was shocked. That's right. What if Xiao Chen doesn't go, or if he goes, but Qing Menjing also wants to go? Thinking of this, Chao Yuliang's expression became dignified. At that time, try to let Shen Jingxian hold Qing Menjing back. Don't let her join in the fun. I want to, but Shen Jingxian doesn't listen to me. She is the Missy of the Shen family. I don't dare to force her. Qin Jinpeng said with a bitter smile, Brother Liang, let's find a way ourselves. Ugh. Chao Yuliang wanted to scold Qin Jinpeng for being a good-for-nothing, but thinking about it, didn't he also fail to deal with Qing Menjing? He was not as good as Qin Jinpeng. Therefore, he did not speak, but closed his eyes and pondered. At this time, Chao Yuliang's phone suddenly rang. Chao Yuliang glanced at the caller ID on his phone. It was actually Li Shanpao's assistant, Lin Chao. Hello? What's the matter? Chao Yuliang picked up the phone. Young Master Chao. I'm Lin Chao, the former junior of Senior Li. Lin Chao said. I know. Go ahead. Chao Yuliang said. It's like this, young Master Chao. I misunderstood Senior's family before. Senior Li is actually a direct descendant of the Weijiang Li family, and he is the grandson of the first wife. However, he loves racing. The Li family is afraid that people will pay attention to him, so they arranged his identity as a collateral descendant of the Li family. Lin Chao said, I was called in by the old man of the Li family for questioning. He was very angry. I couldn't stand it anymore, so I told him everything that happened here. As for whether the Li family blames young Master Chao, I can't do anything about it. What? Chao Yuliang cursed his bad luck. This was really an unexpected disaster. That Li Shanpao was actually a direct descendant of the Weijiang Li family? Chao Yuliang had naturally heard of the Li family of Weijiang City. It was an ancient martial arts family that was comparable to the Shen family. They were powerful. As the grandson of the first wife of the Li family, Li Shanpao died a violent death. It would be strange if the Li family would let it go. Young Master Chao, I can only inform you. I can't help you with anything else. Not only that, senior brother Li's fiancée is also a ruthless person. She's a disciple of a big sect. I heard, she's also going to Songming City. Good luck to you. Lin Chao hung up after he finished speaking. F***CK. Chao Yuliang threw the phone on the ground. It was really inexplicable. He didn't know if the Li family and Li Shanpao's fiancée would find trouble with him. Although in Songming City, the strong dragon couldn't suppress the local snake. Even the Shen family, who had a firm foothold, didn't dare to be too rash, but Chao Yuliang was really afraid that he would encounter a lunatic like the Golden Fur Lion King. Then, he wouldn't be able to reason with him. What's wrong, Brother Liang? Qin Jinpeng noticed that Chao Yuliang's expression wasn't right, so he quickly asked. It's about the previous incident with Li Shanpao. It's not over yet. Chao Yuliang's face was gloomy. He said to Qin Jinpeng, he is the grandson of the first wife of the Li family. Why did he come out to race? Why is he blaming me for his death? Wasn't he killed by Shao Qin? Can't we just blame it on Shao Qin? Qin Jinpeng was stunned. He was also a little surprised. That's true, but I'm afraid that the Li family is unreasonable. If we encounter the Golden Fur Lion King, we will be finished. Chao Yuliang was so angry that he slammed the table. Qin Jinpeng took a deep breath after listening. When he was about to speak, Chao Yuliang's phone rang again. Chao Yuliang glanced at it. It was an unfamiliar phone number, but the caller ID indicated that it was a call from Weijiang City. Hello. Chao Yuliang picked up the phone. Chao Yuliang, is this young Master Chao? On the other side of the phone, there was a feminine male voice that made people feel uncomfortable. I am. Who are you? Chao Yuliang's heart skipped a beat. He could roughly guess the identity of the other party. Lin Chao just called to remind him, and he received a call from Weijiang City. It was really not a coincidence. Let me introduce myself. My name is Li Shanying, Li Shandiao's younger brother. On the other side of the phone, the feminine male voice introduced himself. Li Shanning? Li Shandiao? Qiao Yuliang was slightly stunned. Oh, my brother uses the alias Li Shanpao outside. Li Shanning explained. It turns out to be young Master Li, sorry for not recognizing you. Qiao Yuliang said in his heart. As expected, he is from the Weijiang Li family. Young Master Qiao, do you have time? How about we meet? I have already arrived in Songning City. Li Shanning said. Okay, no problem. You can come to the Qiao's business club now. Just tell the waiter that you are looking for me, Qiao Yuliang. Qiao Yuliang said. This Qiao's business club was the property of the Qiao family. He was known by everyone here. No problem. See you later. Li Shanning hung up after he finished speaking. I'm coming. Qiao Yuliang put down the phone and said, in a while, don't talk nonsense. Listen to me. I understand, Brother Liang. Qin Jinpeng replied quickly. He was so scared that he broke into a cold sweat. He didn't know how the Li family would deal with them. But thinking about it, since Li Shanning dared to come to their territory to talk to them, he shouldn't be here to fight. It was true that he didn't come with good intentions, but he certainly didn't dare to be too rash. This Li Shanning was Li Shanpao's younger brother. He shouldn't be an impulsive person. Half an hour later, the phone in the room rang. It was the lobby manager of the club who called. Young Master Qiao, there is a Mr. Li Shanning looking for you. What do you think? Bring him up. Qiao Yuliang said. He didn't go to greet him. Sometimes, he still had to be careful. This was Songning City, not his Weijiang City. Soon, the lobby manager came with Li Shanning. He knocked on the door, and a man who looked similar to Li Shanpao but was obviously more scheming came in accompanied by the lobby manager. At this time, Qiao Yuliang stood up. Young Master Li, welcome. Li Shanning nodded and said, Young Master Qiao, you don't have to be so polite. Let's sit down and talk. Qiao Yuliang asked the lobby manager to go out first, and then sat down face to face with Li Shanning. He said, Young Master Li, let's not beat around the bush. Are you here for your brother Li Shanpao? Yes. Li Shanning nodded. I heard that my brother was invited by young Master Qiao to race. It's true that I invited him to race, but Brother Ling had a car accident. I'm afraid this matter can't be blamed on me. I paid him. Qiao Yuliang didn't expect Li Shanning to be so straightforward. He didn't beat around the bush and directly absolve himself of responsibility. Young Master Qiao, don't get excited. In fact, everyone knows whether young Master Qiao is responsible for this matter. You know it, and I know it. Li Shanning waved his hand and said, but something happened to my brother. My grandfather is furious about this matter. We have to find a solution. When Qiao Yuliang heard this, he knew that this second young Master Li Shanning was a sensible person. Young Master Li is right. I have always wanted to kill the murderer who killed brother Li Shanpao and give an explanation to the Weijiang Li family. Young Master Qiao is also a sensible person. I have investigated the background of you, Brother Jinpeng, and Xiao Qin before I came. In my opinion, someone needs to stand up and give an explanation. Xiao Qin is more suitable. What do you think? Li Shanning said faintly. Yes, it is a pleasure to work with young Master Li. What do you need me to do? Qiao Yuliang breathed a sigh of relief. It seemed that the Li family was not willing to make a big fuss, so they sent Li Shanning to solve the problem. In fact, Qiao Yuliang was wrong. Old Master Li naturally had to punish the related people, but Li Shanning was different. Li Shanpao was dead, and the biggest beneficiary was Qiao Yuliang. In the past, although Li Shanpao did not do his proper work and went to race, Li Shanpao was still the first heir of the Li family. Now that Li Shanpao was dead, Li Shanning took over his brother's position. So, he was too lazy to come to Songning City to start a feud. He investigated the cause and effect and found that Xiao Chen was the most suitable scapegoat. So, he found Xiao Yuliang and Qin Jinpeng to cooperate. Help me get rid of Xiao Qin. Of course, this is also young Master Chao's purpose. You asked my brother to race, didn't you also want to get rid of Xiao Qin? But, I want to get the results as soon as possible so that I can go back and report. Li Shaniying said. This. Xiao Yuliang did not expect things to be solved so easily. We were discussing how to get rid of Xiao Qin. The original plan was like this. As he said this, Xiao Yuliang told Li Shaniying about the plan that he and Qin Jinpeng had made before, but there was an unforeseen event in the middle. Now, he and Qin Jinpeng did not come up with a good plan. Just in time, he told it to Li Shaniying for help on how to deal with Xiao Qin. Chapter 192. This is easy. At that time, you can go camping normally. If you are afraid that Xiao Qin won't go fishing, you don't have to do anything on the boat. If he gets on the boat, I will drive another boat to hit him. If he doesn't get on the boat, I will find other opportunities. Li Shaniying said indifferently, if it wasn't for the fact that I don't want to attract too much attention and get into trouble in Songming City, I would have personally killed Xiao Qin. Okay, no problem. With young Master Li's help, then we are in the bag. Xiao Yuliang suddenly breathed a sigh of relief. If Li Shaniying hit Xiao Qin into the sea, it would be even more unexpected. At that time, they would have nothing to do with it. And, let's do this first. Let's contact each other again. Li Shaniying said this and suddenly said, my sister-in-law has come to Songming City. If she looks for you, you must make a unified statement. Just say that the car accident caused by Xiao Qin killed my elder brother. Do you understand? Otherwise, don't blame me if you die. Ugh, but we don't have evidence. Xiao Yuliang was stunned. This matter could be guessed, but wouldn't it be more troublesome if they couldn't find evidence if they were to talk nonsense? I have investigated. Qin Jinpeng, your elder brother is called Qin Jinkuan. He died in a car accident, right? Li Shaniying suddenly said. Yes, but what does it have to do with this? Qin Jinpeng was stunned. Before the car accident, he had a conflict with this Xiao Qin in the morning market street. Then, he died in a car accident. Li Shaniying sneered, can't he frame you? Just say that your elder brother also provoked Xiao Qin and was killed in a car accident designed by Xiao Qin. This, okay. Qin Jinpeng thought about it. It was quite reasonable. Counterattack and settle the sister-in-law. Not bad. Hee, I'm optimistic about you. Li Shaniying patted Qin Jinpeng's shoulder and said playfully. A look of desire flashed in his eyes. Ah. Qin Jinpeng was stunned. At this time, Li Shaniying had already left the room. Looking at Li Shaniying's departing figure, Xiao Yuliang let out a long sigh of relief and smiled disdainfully. What the heck? I reckon that brat must be overjoyed right now. He can't even thank us enough. It's all thanks to us that he's able to rise to the top, yet he still wants to imitate you and mess with his sister-in-law, hee. Damn, so that's what it means. Qin Jinpeng suddenly understood. No wonder this guy is not hostile to us. He doesn't want to avenge his brother at all. He just wants to give his family an explanation. That should be the case. However, with his help, it'll be easier for us. When Xiao Qin is dead, he can just leave. Even if old Master Jin wants to protect Xiao Qin, he won't go to Weijiang City to settle the score with the Li family. It's too far, and he doesn't have the ability to do so. Xiao Yuliang smiled coldly. God is helping me. 3 days passed in a flash. Xiao Qin had finished his medicinal herbs, but he still hadn't leveled up. This almost made Xiao Qin cry on the spot. Was this the rhythm of the cultivation world being poor for 3 generations? Moreover, the key problem was that Xiao Qin hadn't received a single mission in the past 3 days. He didn't earn any money either. Although there were many missions in the warrior guild, they were from all over the place. Compared to Songming City, it was impossible for there to be some high-level missions. Therefore, Xiaochen resisted the urge to rush to the pharmacy and ask Hongzhu for the money that he had cheated away. If he still didn't have the money to buy medicine today, Xiaochen could only think of a way to sell his points in the warrior guild. However, what surprised Xiaochen was that he actually received a call from CFA. "Hero White Fox, I'm CFA." CFA's voice was very pleasant, with a hint of laziness. In the past, Xiaochen hated rich wives like her. They played cards and walked their dogs every day, doing nothing else. However, since he knew about CFA's tragic life experience, Xiaochen was very sympathetic towards her. The marriage of a big family had basically ruined her entire life. For the sake of the family's reputation, she couldn't get a divorce, let alone have an affair. That young Master Wang could, but she couldn't. This was the sorrow of a woman from an aristocratic family. "Hello, Miss Xia. What's the matter?" Xiaochen asked. "It's like this. I don't know if you have time tonight. My husband wants to see you." CFA hesitated for a moment and said. "Pfft. Cough, cough, cough." Xiaochen was stunned and said, "Your husband, isn't he that young Master Wang? Didn't he not return home at all and didn't talk to you?" "Yes." Speaking up to this point, CFA had a headache. "I don't know where he heard that you helped me find the dog in Xiaofeng. He thinks that you have superpowers and can help him, so he asked me to help invite you to my house to talk about things." Xiaochen was suddenly speechless. Superpowers? This young Master Wang's imagination was quite rich. However, what surprised Xiaochen was how did young Master Wang know so much? "Didn't I ask you to keep my matter a secret? How did he know? This matter can't be hidden in the Xia family, and some people in the Xia family have a good relationship with the Wang family, so it's normal for him to know." CFA said, "You also know that my marriage with him was facilitated by some people for benefits, so that's how it is." Xiaochen nodded, which made him heave a sigh of relief. In that case, it wasn't deliberately done by someone with ulterior motives. Perhaps it was accidentally mentioned by someone who was close to young Master Wang, as if he was bragging, making him a superpower user. As a result, young Master Wang probably happened to have something to discuss with him, so he came to find him. This guy seems to be a tycoon, then I can cut him some money tonight." The medical expenses were finally settled, so Xiaochen immediately said, "Okay, then let him wait for me at the villa tonight, but my time is limited, and I won't wait after the deadline." Xiaochen also had to be more arrogant. After all, a master always made others wait. The more he did so, the more money that young Master Wang would give him. At night, after school, Xiaochen first took Jean Bebe's Panamera and returned to the villa with Qing Menjing. After putting down his school bag, Xiaochen changed into the chef's uniform of White Fox. "Are you also going to sell fried dough sticks at night?" Qing Menjing saw Xiaochen's outfit and felt a little strange. "No, I'm going to buy some medicine, and I'll be back in a while," said Xiaochen. "Buying medicine? Then why are you dressed like this? You're really crazy." Qing Menjing frowned and didn't ask any more questions. Yi Xiaoye was taking care of her flowers and plants in the garden at the door. When she saw Xiaochen go out, a trace of doubt flashed in her eyes. She felt that Xiaochen's outfit was familiar, but she couldn't remember where she had seen it before. She thought that she might have seen it when she was selling breakfast. When he was almost at the door of CFA's house, Xiaochen put on his mask and went over to ring the doorbell. Not long after, there was a burst of hurried footsteps and a dissatisfied voice. "Get up, I want to open the door myself." At this time, the door was opened, and a handsome and elegant man appeared in front of Xiaochen. He was probably older than Xiaochen, about 25 or 26 years old. Beside him stood a man in black, who was obviously his subordinate or bodyguard. Just now, it was this man who wanted to open the door, but he was pushed aside. "This must be Hero White Fox. It's nice to meet you. My surname is Wang, and my name is Wang Xiongzhuang." The elegant man introduced himself to Xiaochen politely. "Wang Xiongzhuang?" Xiao glanced at the man in front of him. No matter how he looked at him, he couldn't see how majestic he was. He was obviously a handsome young man. However, this young Master Wang was very humble. He didn't have the arrogance of a son of an aristocratic family at all. "That's me, Hero White Fox." Young Master Wang nodded with a smile. "Hero White Fox, let's talk inside." Miss Xia, is there a room for me here?" Xia Fei walked over at this time and looked at Wang Xiongzhuang indifferently. "Talk inside? Do you have anything shameful to say? Are you going to shut me, your wife?" This. Young Master Wang was a little embarrassed. He rubbed his hands and looked at Xia Fei pleadingly. "Miss Xia, you can't blame me for what happened between us. Didn't your Xia family try to matchmake us? You and I are both victims. Please don't treat me like this. I've already said, you can also find someone you like. I won't interfere, even if you don't interfere, your family won't interfere?" Xia Fei glared at young Master Wang and said coldly. This. Young Master Wang didn't know what to say. In fact, he also knew that men could find someone outside, but women couldn't. This was the tragedy of a big family. Hero White Fox is here. Don't let others see you as a joke. This month, I'll give you more money, okay? I waited a day for Hero White Fox. Don't make him unhappy and leave. Xiao was speechless. This combination of Wang Xiongzhuang and Xia Fei was really strange. It seemed that this young Master Wang wasn't the kind of person who would betray his wife. He was a person who was forced into a corner. In front of Xia Fei, he couldn't even lift his head. Upstairs, the rooms on the left of the stairs have not been used. You can go up. Xia Fei sighed. Although she was angry, she knew that this matter wasn't Wang Xiongzhuang's fault. It was caused by the Wang family and the Xia family. Okay, White Fox Hero, can you please go upstairs? Wang Xiongzhuang made a gesture of invitation. Let's go. Xiao Chen nodded. He went upstairs with Wang Xiongzhuang and entered the room on the left. This was a bridal chamber. To be precise, it was Xia Fei and Wang Xiongzhuang's bridal chamber. There was the word happiness hanging in the room. The bed sheets were all red. It was a joyous atmosphere. It was just that, it had never been used before. The large wedding photo on the wall had been taken down and hung by the wall. After entering the room, Wang Xiongzhuang's expression became even uglier. Especially when he saw Xiao Chen sizing up the room, he hurriedly and carefully explained to Xiao Chen, "Hero White Fox, I didn't mean to betray you. It's just that I have something difficult to say. I can't give Xiao Fei the life she wants." You're tuning into the Journey of the Soul YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.